Hey there! Welcome to Convincing Idiots. We are joining you this week for a very, very special celebration. We've been doing this, if you can believe it or not, for 3 whole years. So, to commemorate the occasion, we are going to spend the majority of our time talking about, much like we did on our first episode, we're ranking some of our favorite Star Wars properties. Our first episode, we talked about our favorite movies and ranked them. This time, there's been a lot more since we started 3 years ago. We've got TV shows, specials, all types of fun stuff. So be sure to stick around, listen to us, celebrate 3 years. Thank you for joining us for this episode. And without further ado, let's start the show.
All right. Test.
Call it again. Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
3 friends representing 3 different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
Does your watch tell you what generation you're from?
I've got a year-long watch. Doesn't tell me the hour. It tells me the year.
And who are you, sir?
I'm sorry, Brian Gen X.
You sure are.
And I am your millennial, Nick. And we are Convincing Idiots, a weekly podcast of 3 friends representing 3 different generations. We get together each and every week, most of the time, to talk about
Most of
nerd
us.
and pop culture items of the day. If you've not already done so, please feel free to find us on all of your social media accounts. We are there on most of them. All of those can be laid out for you on our Linktree. So go to Google, type in Convincing Idiots, Linktree, and there you will find links to all of the social media accounts, as well as a link to our merch store. We have merch. Unfortunately, you cannot buy these festive hockey jerseys. These are for show members only.
That's right.
But there are all kinds of fun things on there, such as hoodies and
When they
t-shirts
fire
and
me,
pint
we're
glasses.
going to have probably an opening, so you could get one.
There you go.
be.
Yeah. You can have a one-of-a-kind
That's
original.
right.
All that and so much more is available also on our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So feel free to go over there and check that out as well. We very much appreciate it. So, gentlemen, we are here in person this week to celebrate 3 fucking years of doing this podcast.
Yeah.
That's right.
We have been doing this for 3 years, gentlemen. Insane.
3 years, and you got to think of it this way.
We've lost listeners in 3 years, I think.
Well, a lot. We've done 3 years, and Brian still gets the smaller chair.
Yep. That's right. Still lowest. Yep.
Well, if he falls out of it, it's not as far to the ground. There's less chance of him breaking something if he has less distance to fall.
That is true. Less splints to wear
That's right.
sleeping.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Look at you!
Yeah, so anyway, well, I mean, I guess I don't know if we were going to do this later, but happy 3 years to you
Happy 3
both.
years, Joe.
It's been a blast.
Cheers,
We've
cheers,
had a lot
cheers.
of fun here. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to anyone who may be watching or listening
Cheers
or who
with us.
has ever
right.
watched or listened to us, with us at any point. We appreciate any and all support, so thank you.
Absolutely. You know, I will mention, by the way, before we get into the stuff, we are in a new app. So we are on there's a new YouTube music app out there. So find us out there, Convincing Idiots. Now you can watch the videos like you normally can on our YouTube channel at Convincing Idiots. Or there's also a way to, you just flip it over to, if you're watching a video, you can hit audio and just listen to us like a podcast. So it's a new app. I guess it's gaining popularity, but you can find us on YouTube
Probably
Music.
because we're on it, I'd say.
Because we're on it. Downloads went up by
So you're
300%.
So you're watching the video, and when you get tired of seeing our face, you can just click the button and it switches over to an audio.
Just audio only.
You don't lose, timing or whatever. It just continues, just takes away our face.
That's exactly right.
All right.
That's the one you want.
Exactly right. So find us out there as well, if you are inclined.
Sure.
Yes.
As you should be.
Right.
That's right.
Right. So 3 years. Well, first is how are you? I want to start with how are you in general, then reflect on 3 years. How you guys want to do this?
I'm going to tell you that I'm great.
I'm going to tell you how I've been for the last 3 years.
Right. I'm going to go.
I'm not doing so hot, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all weird. No, I'm good. Don't really have a lot since last week that I've seen you guys. Oh, I did go to a wedding.
Oh, yeah?
Megan's dad.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations to them.
Absolutely. They got married, and there was a lot of dancing, and
Did you dance?
yeah, I did. I normally don't, right? So it's weird because I don't dance, so I don't know how to, right? I don't know how much fast dancing you
I've
guys
seen
do.
you do the thing.
boy.
You bite your lip
Yeah.
and kind of jet out, and you do this thing with your.
First of all, I'm normally behind you when I'm doing that, so I didn't know you saw that face.
I always turn around and look at it.
But yeah, I don't know what the old adage. I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm dancing, and it looks like a wounded deer a little bit. Like I'm hurt. And then there's I look over and see somebody that I can clearly see knows what they're doing. They're dancing quite well. So I try to mimic them, and that does not work. It doesn't seem like it's...
They're like, it's the electric slide. It tells you what to do. Just listen to the song.
Their steps. No, but you know what? I had a great time. A lot of bourbon was had,
Nice.
as it should be.
Dancing is no one cares.
It's true. Especially drunk people at weddings.
Right.
Everybody
Right.
looks that way.
Yeah. It was a good time. So,
Except me when I do the Cupid Shuffle. I know exactly what I'm doing when I do the Cupid
And we'll be doing that in segment 3.
Yes.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Ooh.
yeah. Cheers, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah. Other than that, that's what's going on with me. Nothing new. Just working, loving, and fucking.
There you go.
So what about you, Nikolai?
I've been good. Things are going well. Getting ready for Halloween time. Had a nice little weekend. Spent some time in Cleveland this weekend. Friday night was the Cleveland Monsters home opener, the minor league hockey team. So that was a lot of fun. We went up there and had a good time. Just hung around Saturday. And then Sunday, Brian and myself got to see the one and only Kiss for one
Yes, indeed.
last time.
Yes.
50 years of Kiss.
Wow.
Kiss is hanging them up, supposedly. Although I will mention, I did go see Kiss when they embarked on their farewell tour. I was in the 6th grade. It was 2001. But here we are 22 years later.
And this
I am now this is the
it.
end of the road
Sure,
tour.
sure.
So
Right.
that was the beginning of the road. And now
That was like the end of the
it's a long
original
road.
4, is what that turned out to
Yeah,
be.
that's true. That's true.
They
They were just saying farewell to Peter and Ace.
that's basically it. That's how it turned out. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll review that concert a little more in depth, I guess, when if you want to
fine.
talk about that's
good.
what I
Go
did.
ahead.
But if you want to talk about your weekend, then we'll kind of talk about that a little more or something. Or
Let's just keep going. So it was a good show.
yep.
I mean, Gene and Paul, 70-some years old and still out there doing it. You can tell they're tired.
Yeah.
But
Well,
who wouldn't be tired on a long tour and all this? But it was still a great.
Can you imagine
Kiss
the splints they have to wear when they go to sleep?
Not to
Probably
mention, not
more than me.
Not
that's
to
for
be,
sure.
not really to be underestimated, but not only are they in their 70s, not only have they been a band for like 50 years, the vast majority of that time, and especially through these later years, you're talking about these old men putting makeup on their face and scrubbing it off every night, putting all that gear on, the costumes, the boots, being up on platforms and suspended in the air and zip lines. And
How many 70-year-olds do you guys know?
Just Brian, really, and Kiss. It's
No, but they're not out there like Paul Stanley and those guys doing that. It's just not
Right,
at that level.
like my father is in his 70s, and I couldn't imagine him getting out there every night.
Yeah.
His hip hurts when he goes to take a piss.
right.
So I can't imagine him doing that every night, week in and week out, throughout the years,
Yeah.
Good on them.
Well, Kiss always put on a good show. I mean, I do give them credit. That's what they said they wanted to do. They wanted to be the band that you wanted to go see. And to their credit, every single show, makeup, no makeup, it was always an entertaining concert at the end of the day. They really did give their fans their money's worth.
I was very impressed with the show.
Like this podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Money's worth zero.
I was going to say we give you zero because you pay zero for it. So
right.
we're giving you what you pay for.
Once you start paying, we'll pick it up. Maybe year 10, we'll make more of an effort.
When we make about 35 cents,
Yeah.
we'll put the effort in.
That's
There you
right.
go.
That's right.
But yeah, I thought especially Paul Stanley has Kiss was one of those bands for me. It's just always been there. Grew up with them. And Paul Stanley is one of my favorite vocalists. He just has a very unique voice, and he still sounds really good. I would say, anybody that would be watching and listening, whether you are a Kiss fan or even if you've just kind of wondered what it's like and you wanted to go see him before it's done, I would strongly, seriously, it was worth every penny. It was like you said, great show.
Yep.
All the theatrics of it was fantastic. All the stuff that they do, they sounded good. I've seen a lot of bands from that era and even much younger than Kiss, from like the 80s and stuff like that just can't do it anymore. They still do, but they can't.
Right.
Paul sounded great. The music was good. They didn't, they just sounded great. So it was worth every penny. Actually, funny story. I was, the night after we went to the show, I was showing my kids some videos, and I especially wanted to show Oliver them doing God of Thunder. That's before that song. Gene, he kind of does this demonic thing, and where he has a blood capsule in there, and then the blood comes out of his mouth, and then he raises, and then they do God of Thunder.
Right.
So ever since that moment, Oliver has been completely enamored by Kiss. He can't stop asking me why he wasn't able to go, why I didn't take him. So then it turned into, when will they be back? And I said, well, this is kind of like it. This is the last tour. And I said, it was 20 years ago when I saw them, for the first time. He goes, so they'll be back in 20 years? And I said, well, if they're doing this when they're 90-something, I will 100% take you. Not thinking anything of it. The next day, he was asking me how old he'll be in 20 years, if he'll be done with school in 20 years. Unrelated, I didn't know why these questions were being thrown my way. And I said, why? What's in 20 years? And he's like, well, that's when Kiss is coming back. So I'm currently watching ticket prices for Indianapolis just in case they dip to a reasonable level. I think it's only 4 hours. Might be fun to go see them one more time. And it is, supposedly, like I said, the last time, it would be a cool thing to take them to see. So if it becomes reasonable ticket prices closer to time, it's on the table. So
very great.
No, it was a great show. Thought the Pledge of Allegiance was odd, but other than that, it was...
Yeah.
There was a moment where...
Hold on.
Yeah.
It was like grade school. Get up and we're gonna recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hands over the heart.
Towards the end, they start Paul, and he started on this thing about, and the message was all very. I got what the thing was. It was very like, we need to unite the Kiss Army. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. Kind of bring, we live in this great country. Everybody, it was very rah rah America. And then it was like, I'd like everybody to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I was like, what?
Excuse me? What?
And sure enough, they did the Pledge of Allegiance. It was, like I said.
Did they do it but it was melodically, or was it just...
No, it was everybody rehearsing
I
pledge
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. No, it wasn't like a song at all. It was just everybody singing it. Or saying it.
That is...
it was interesting. It was interesting. Yeah.
That's not the hockey game I turned on, but I'm not mad at it.
It's okay.
Anyway, but yeah, any more thoughts on the Kiss concert?
No, it was good. So if you're watching, listening, you have a chance to go see them. If you're remotely a Kiss fan, go check them out in their final few shows. Yeah, that was good. So that was Sunday. Obviously, we had a great time prior. Your lovely mother joined us as well.
Yeah,
it was a great time.
Oh yeah, what was she wearing?
It was like a fishnet, just everything.
Oh, okay, nice.
Fishnet, head to toe.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Just
sorry,
a few pasties. We'll let you figure out where they may or may not have been.
Yep, it was convincing idiots. It was like my
The Limestein
face.
heads. Yeah, it's my mama.
That's right.
Still got it.
Yep, that's right. It was great. That was Sunday, of course, and then
Got to meet Jim and Tina, your friends there. Very nice people.
Yes,
Very good
Is
to
that
meet
the first
them.
time you met him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
we had a great time. We got the great parking spot, the whole bit. And then Friday and Saturday was a lot of high school marching band stuff. So Friday, Allie and I went to go see Marlo, her daughter's last marching band performance on the field out in Cloverleaf.
How long has she been in band? Like since like what, middle school or even earlier?
You know what? I think so.
Wow.
I think middle school. Yeah. So it's like, it was, emotional. And then Saturday they have a annual fundraising show they do in the high school gym at Springfield. They have, basket raffles and, it's like a whole concert. So the 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th, they all play some songs, and then the marching band comes out and they do routines in the gym and all. It's a lot of fun. So that was Saturday evening. It was great. My mom went, Allie's mom, her sister, brother-in-law, all there to wish Marlo the best. That was it. That was the last any type of marching band performance was Saturday.
Is she going to college or anything like that?
She will be going to college. She's not sure she'll do band there, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But at least from a high school, so.
Nice.
Yeah. That was,
Well, congratulations to Marlo.
Yes,
That's awesome.
congratulations.
Yeah, incredible.
Yes, it was very good. It was very, and you'll see someday. It's like that end of it. Those are, they can be a little emotional.
Sure. I get that.
But anyway, it's good.
Nice.
That was it.
Very good.
All right.
All right, boys. Real quick. I mean, we'll get this over. We did it the year, 2 year.
Yeah.
I'll do it 3 year. Sure. Just how appreciative I am to both of you.
You should be. We put up with a lot to do this with you.
I get it.
It's a lot of fucking shit. Okay.
And
I'm glad you recognize that.
I
That's good.
appreciate your patience. No, I do. I there's nobody else I would rather do this sort of horse shit with. Mm-hmm. This silly thing that we do every week.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys, and I can't imagine listeners out there listening or watching that takes time out of their day, once a week to listen to this. It blows my mind.
Well, there's so much good shit out there. And I mean, and I don't say,
right.
we are self-deprecating a lot, and I don't even mean it like that. There's a
lot of good
much. Like any corner of little thing that you're interested in, there's a podcast for you. Yeah. And we're just 3 friends who get together, really more than anything else, as an excuse to get together and do this.
Exactly.
Even if it's over video call, as it usually is. So, I mean, the fact that anybody, really takes time to listen or support us or enjoys what we're doing, I mean, it's very
thank you guys.
Admirable. Thank you guys.
You.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I've said mine.
Yep. So it's time for you to praise Dean and I now.
No. No, it's interesting. Is that, we've
got more aggressive since the last time I looked down. What's the score of the hockey?
We talked about doing this years ago.
Yeah.
And we just, we said this probably in other podcast, but didn't know where to begin, didn't know where to start, and I'll give Keith Porter credit that, he had an idea to do a football show, and we're just going to film it on, our phones, and we're going to put it out there. And he started doing it with Cooper. Then eventually he asked Skinner and I to do it, and that's what got me like, this really isn't that hard to put together.
Sure.
And then obviously we talked about, we made
and then he did it with us and was like, it's harder than I thought it was.
It's a little rough.
No, but I think as we do this, like you say, your expectations of, no, I don't mean of the show. I don't know. It's just when you start doing it originally, it's exciting and you want to do it. It's like why you keep doing it. I think continues to evolve a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like at one point we thought, oh my God, maybe a lot of people will watch or something like that. And then you really look back and reflect on it.
And
it's
then
like,
you're humbled a great deal.
well, yes, you are. But then as you just said, why keep doing it? That's what some people probably wonder. Why do people keep doing it? What is the motivation to continue to spend time and do that? And this is why. And I think about it. We haven't made any money from doing this, to be very frank. But it's like you say, it's the setting aside of time every week with your friends, and all the laughs and everything. I mean, looking back over the last 3 years, I mean, there's been so many. I haven't laughed as hard on some of our episodes and just doing stuff as I had in a long time. I'm serious, right? So that in itself is worth the time and investment. right? So
Well, I think the statistic is something like the majority of podcasts last into 7 episodes.
Mhm.
That's
Wow, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, to do this for 3 years, pat
Yeah,
ourselves
this
on
will
the
be
back,
163.
right?
Again, you figure once a
yeah.
week. I mean, we've been almost once a week.
And the
Almost every
163 is malleable because you have the back in the day we did some short ones here. We did,
Right,
our
yeah.
numbers. If you wanted to count how many times we've gotten on air and did this, it's more than 163.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We tested a lot of things early on about short episodes. 160 or 59B, 59C. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
it's. I mean, we've done this a lot of times, and 3 years is a long time. So
And we should be better.
you would think.
Really,
you
if you
really
think
would
about
think.
it.
Yeah.
I'm giving you peak performance. I'm sorry to say, I can't do any better. Than
Performance like that.
No, but you reflect too. What we've done is evolved. Like we've tried this type of episode or that type of episode. Like you said, the long, the short. What we're going to do this week. For a while was just like pop culture, this or headlines and stuff, and then now it's sort of gotten in the format that we're in now. But yeah, but like you say, thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah.
And,
Well, my favorite thing about doing it over the last 3 years has been just the fact that, like I said, we did it to just have a reason to get together. But
Right.
I certainly over the last 3 years, I mean, in regards to how much we get to hang out or whatever, I get to see and talk to you guys way more this way.
I
To
agree.
set aside a thing, really you're making an excuse as it's a podcast, you got to do it.
Right.
But it is a good excuse to stay in close contact with both of you and know
with
what's going
kids
on. And it's hard, yeah.
With
right.
families, the older we get, we've got kids in school. Brian's got pills he's got to take a lot.
Yeah.
So, with all that.
Splints to wear. Fucking crazy.
A lot of gear for bedtime. You got to
Right.
gear up. Yeah.
So with life in general, I mean, if we weren't doing this, we would drift apart to an extent. I mean, and not talk to each other for whatever time. Now we're close like that.
That's right. We're pretty close.
We're very close.
That's real close. That's almost one.
You can't get closer.
But yes, it has been a very enjoyable 3 years. So thank you both
Yes.
very much.
Yes.
And especially, I know we talk about it a lot and, not to go too overboard here, but thank you for all that you
Absolutely.
do. Brian does 95%, I would say, of
94, but
of
work
the
numbers.
legwork here with the editing and the uploading, and we appreciate everything that you do. Absolutely. So, Dean and I are not committed enough to much of anything to have kept this going on our own. So, if not for you, we would have been under 7 episodes.
I couldn't
absolutely.
even commit to a marriage. So
I can commit to full videos though.
like that,
So yes,
gentlemen.
happy.
You
Happy
are
3
welcome.
years.
Yes.
3.
Cheers to 3 years.
Cheers.
And here's to a couple more days at least.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, other than our normal format that we do, where we have Ask an Idiot, we're going to have headlines. Well, it being 3 years, 3 of us together, and what was it? 3 years ago.
That would be the 3-year anniversary.
Thank you. Our first main event, our first main topic was we ranked Star Wars. But back then, Star Wars was different. There wasn't as much as there is now. With the last 3 years, we have got a plethora of Star Wars. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to focus our main subject for a little bit longer. We're going to forego some of this, and so if you like Ask an Idiot, you like the headlines that we do, it will be back next week. But this week we're going to forego that, and we're going to rank Star Wars again because we have a lot more content than there was 3 years ago.
Right. Yes. We like you said, episode 1, we did the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did the straight movies, and then we thought we would, since that time, obviously Disney has put out various series.
Yep.
There's been other content out there, so we're going to re-rank the primary Star Wars content, including the Disney Plus series, etc., and see if I have no idea what
I
my
don't
ranking
remember
was
either.
before.
No.
I've had somewhat of an idea, but I'm interested to go back and compare.
I
and
do
see
know
how
my
that
number
is.
one.
Yeah, my
Spoiler
top
alert.
couple
My
is
number
not going
one's
to
still-
change at
Right.
all, but still, it'll be interesting to go back and compare it a little bit. But
Well, the rankings that we're going to do, we have not disclosed it, so
Right.
just like last time, and I promise you, it will not have to be a multi-part series, like the first episode. Was
Buckle
like
up for 5 episodes
Right.
of our top
That's
Star
right.
Wars
That's
ranking.
why we're giving more of a birth to this main topic. So
Yeah.
So when we come back, right? Or is there
take a
anything
break.
more we all need to do? Let's
take a
go.
break.
You know,
It's Brian's pill time.
Yep,
I think.
Brian's
That's right.
gotta
It's
take
got an
pills.
alert. Yep.
got a splint to add or something.
Nick's got to pee for 45 minutes, and I'm going to touch my places.
There you go.
So come back. Come back.
From Kenner's Star Wars collection, each sold separately. Large-size Darth Vader with his lightsaber. Princess Leia, champion of the rebel cause. With her defender, Luke Skywalker. You can swing him into action on his grappling hook. And load Chewbacca's laser crossbow. Star Wars large-size action figures. Up to 15 inches tall and ready for action. Large-size Darth Vader, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, each sold separately from Kenner.
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. Main topic, as you mentioned previously, main event. So our first episode we ever shot in my basement years ago, we ranked the Star Wars movies.
Oh, that's not the main event.
No?
No. No, I thought... I mean, we're a pop culture podcast, are we not?
We
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
I thought the main event in all of pop culture was what's going on with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Wow, that is true.
So, anyway,
is true.
I came prepared for such an event. I've decided to launch my own segment
Okay.
here on the fly. It is called the Swifty Central Report
okay.
with Millennial Nick. I just have a few updates to bring you.
Please. Please.
Just so everybody's staying up on the news. Joining you from the Swift Central Studios, I am Millennial Nick, bringing you all the news of the day and everything that is going on with Sweet Tay Tay. I actually have here insider information. This is exclusive to Convincing Idiots. As we all know, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have been getting close. She's been spotted at Arrowhead Stadium a couple times. She's been at different games.
Was she close as that?
Not quite that close. However, I'm a professional. Please, I have my newsman things on, so please,
apologies.
this
My
is the
apologies.
Swifty report. Please, fucking calm down. Anyway, so things are really heating up. Not only has Mama Kelce met Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift has actually gone so far to introduce Mr. Kelce to her 3 cats. That's right. So word has it that both Meredith Grey and Olivia Benson gave Travis Kelce a resounding paws up. However, the oldest of the 3, Benjamin Button, was a little hesitant. He's a little more protective of Taylor. So we'll keep close eyes on that and give you more updates on that as it comes. But for this inaugural segment of the Swift Report, there you go. That's
good.
Taylor Swift news. There you go. You're welcome.
Excellent. Boy.
I mean, could we call ourselves... I mean, she drives pop culture single-handedly. Could we
Yes.
call ourselves properly a pop culture podcast without a Swift Report? I don't think so.
That's pretty good.
I'm here to serve the people.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And how many podcasts are you prepared with a fucking clip-on tie?
Hold on.
I would gather none.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And again, let's break the fourth wall. You interrupt the podcast
Yes.
for that
For the Taylor Swift Report.
because it's so hot.
you got to know the hot goss about Tay Tay.
That's what's keeping our viewers up in Botswana.
You guys sit here and complain that we don't have enough eyes and ears on this podcast. I'm mentioning Taylor Swift on it, and now we're going to get it. What do you want?
It's at least another 200 views on TikTok.
But no, it's more of the idea that, like, you want heat. Let's talk about real heat with Aaron Blake. You Taylor Swift out the window. I tell you, the real heat, the real pop culture is what you can save with your insurance, with Blake Insurance.
And you know what? In celebration of the 3-year anniversary, Dean's going to actually do this read.
Without it?
By heart.
Seeing as how he does it every week, surely it must be memorized by now.
I don't think you understand how much I drink during that. No,
these words aren't even legible. These are proper grammar.
Blake, we'll try. Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit Blake Insurance LLC for your free, what? I said free. 5-minute quote today. And when you do, tell them that he did it without reading.
I just, one more time, tell the people the number, because you could have said that wrong and we wouldn't know. So go ahead and tell them the number again. You want to call 234?
234-571 5839?
You idiot. 5359.
See, when
all these customers are calling for Aaron, they're not going to be like, who's this guy?
Yep.
It's one of those things where, like, if you, like, took, like, the middle of a lyric, you'd be like, I don't know what that is. But, like, when it's going with the flow, you got it. So.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, I did it once. That's all I promised.
Well, we can't, we'll have to go back and watch it. Because
Aaron's like, why do people from Sweden fucking call it? Yeah.
All I know is Aaron Blake, much hotter than Taylor Swift. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying.
But would also want to know what Taylor's cats thought of Travis Kelce. So I think everybody wants to know that.
Okay.
Of course.
Well,
absolutely.
Ask him when you call him for your free 5-minute quote today.
Yeah.
Very good.
I thought it was adorable that she has a cat named Meredith Grey.
Right, that is slightly adorable.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Benjamin Button.
Well, we'll look forward to more Swiftie updates.
You should, because you're going to fucking get them every week.
Well, you like it or not.
It better have the glasses and tie.
Of course.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm a news anchor. I mean, that's I'm a professional.
That's right. Always prepared.
Yeah.
Always prepared. Okay, so again, our first episode, we did a ranking of the Star Wars movies.
Oh, yeah.
As Dean mentioned.
Oh, yeah. We're doing a podcast.
That's right. As Dean mentioned, there's been other Star Wars many Star Wars original series since that time on Disney Plus. Some better than others, certainly. Yep. So we thought for our 3-year anniversary, we go back and re-rank the Star Wars properties from our least favorite to our most favorite, and we're going to work in original series, etc. That's it. So it'll be interesting to go back and compare how we ranked them previously, but I'm sure our fans know 3 years ago what our rankings were by heart.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Similar to how Dean finally learned the.
I got to refire up the Taylor Swift ticker on my phone here just to.
That first episode, you got to think, has probably now been listened to slightly under 4 million.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
of course,
you all should, because who is listening to it has done it multiple times. So
obviously. Yes, absolutely.
So where do we want to start? Who wants to start?
So we're going worst to first? Is that correct?
Worst to first?
To first.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
We got to build up here.
Dean, why don't you start? Because you're on the left. Or the right if you're viewing.
Can I pull this off?
No, Kevin James, you can't.
All right. We're doing it. All right. Worst to first, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like you're going to produce a rap album from the 90s right now. What is happening?
All right, so let me tell you.
Maybe more R&B. I don't know. Give me more R&B vibes.
I need more jazz.
You do seem like someone who would be involved with R. Kelly.
Let me take my splint in your mouth.
Yeah, keep working it.
All right, so I'm going to start with my least favorite out of the movies, the 9 movies, and whatever amount of TV shows they've done. It did not change from last time. My least favorite Star Wars property, Attack of the Clones. It will be the same argument that I had 3 years ago.
I have this argument myself every year.
Anniversary, I yell at myself. I'm normally naked in the mirror, pinching my fat tits. It's a whole thing. But yeah, Attack of the Clones is for the one reason of the just whatever reshoots they had to do with the beard on Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was weird. Not to mention like a lot of the political shit that didn't need to be in there. It was too bright and too shiny. Like there was some good stuff in the movie. Don't get me wrong. It was still Star Wars, but they could have taken out 75% of the movie.
Sure. I felt like that movie was kind of one that like the story needed to be told. It was the minutia of the story. It was boring, but they had to tell it to get certain points across, or to kind of give you the backdrop of what was going on.
It's almost like another second in a trilogy.
Yeah,
that was unnecessary.
See, that one didn't do anything for the plot. We'll talk about that.
That's true.
Actually, it's a great tie-in. We can roll right into my least favorite one.
Do it.
The Last Jedi. Is that what you were talking about?
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, so The Last Jedi is just a hot fucking mess of nothingness. You can completely remove that movie from the trilogy, and you will have not missed a thing. Nothing happens in that movie that you need to know to go into the next one. If I have to pick one thing that I could pick one thing I like out of everything Star Wars. And there literally is one thing about this movie that I enjoyed. I liked the battle scene with Kylo and Rey together with the red backdrop and the room and the the lightsaber like through the head and stuff. It was very creative and inventive, and I thought that was cool.
The whole movie visually was beautiful.
Yeah.
So you can't take away from that. Yeah. It was an incredibly shot movie.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, there was nothing to it.
Right.
Besides that awesome fight scene.
Yeah.
And the Holdo maneuver. When she rips through the
whatever that was it a Star Destroyer? It wasn't a Star Destroyer. It was
it was a Star Destroyer. Yeah. Okay. And like the way they did it with the light and they muted everything when it go. That's a beautiful shot. That's a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
But again,
the movie just sucked. Yeah, it's just like it was just not a lot there.
It destroyed 40 some years of Luke Skywalker in 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Or whatever horseshit time that movie took.
So we should preface this off the top. You mentioned, how many do you have?
16 altogether.
I have 21. And you have?
16 also.
16. Okay, yeah. So at the end,
Do you remember last week when they said I didn't?
Do you want me to get to 16 right now?
They busted my balls.
Or do you want to just?
They busted my balls about me not following directions.
There were no directions. It just said rank your favorite Star Wars property. I can't help that I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than you guys and have seen more Star Wars stuff.
Let's go back in the text messages, shall we? Brian?
So that's 21 for me.
Do you have 16? He's got 21. What do you got there?
I do have 16. Now, if we didn't watch anything, we did not rank it, so we'll talk more about that. But my last one of what I watched, same as you, Attack of the Clones.
There we go.
So I don't remember anything about that movie other than the weird Anakin killing all the sand people.
That was my favorite part of that movie.
That was very oddly violent. And then of course, the whole scene with Yoda fighting
Palpatine. Or it was Dooku. Yeah, you're
Dooku.
right.
That was really cool.
Palpatine was in the...
The theater went nuts for that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yoda walked out with his cane.
You finally got to see Yoda
move.
Perform.
That was awesome.
Be the badass that he was presumed to be in the originals.
That's right. Give me the movie 30 minutes and there's Yoda fighting Count Dooku. Yep. That's it. That's all you really needed in that movie. That's the only thing memorable about it. So,
yeah, I like the Sand People scene because that was the first time you kind of see him get to that level, that rage come out in him for the first time.
Right.
And that's the reason that I don't have it lower than some other things when I get to it is because of that scene.
One of the cool scenes or parts about that scene is if you listen closely, I don't know, turn it up or whatever, get a better sound system, but you can hear Qui-Gon yell, "Anakin, no," while he's killing the people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right. Very good.
I don't think I've ever caught that before, so cool.
I can't recall last time I watched that movie.
I'm a bigger fan.
Yeah, I probably not since
Years.
Disney's start putting out their movie. I mean, it's been a while since I've sat down and watched them.
There was a brief time in Carter's age where that was his favorite. So
Yeah, same with
watched
Lane.
it
Lane
a
liked
lot.
that one a lot, and I was like, why?
So unfortunately, I had to watch it fucking a lot.
Yeah.
So. All right. So my next one. Well, if I'm reading this far away, I don't need the glasses. Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It is my number 15. I think we said everything we needed to on it. It
It's
was
just there.
unnecessary. There were a few cool things in it, but relatively unnecessary. So.
Yep.
There you go.
Coming in at number 20 for me, my second to last, is Rise of Skywalker. The only reason it wasn't last is because it does something for the plot. It's a shitty end, and it's a not very well thought out one, but it is, however, it does have a plot and it does have an ending. So that's why it's not last, otherwise it would be. I don't know, I know Star Wars fans are hard to make happy. We're very critical, and I'm not. I joke, but I'm far from like one of the
You
hardcores.
think that guy was a Star Wars fan? Because he was quite hard.
He was very, probably the biggest. So I've seen bigger Star Wars fans, but he was
bigger Star Wars fan. Yeah.
I digress. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. Just I was very, I don't know, something with that kind of following, that kind of cultural impact. All these years into this Skywalker saga, I felt like they really just shit the bed on the way they ended it. It was very lazy. It was sloppy. I was probably left with more questions when it was over than when I started with.
Well, luckily we're going to have a continuation because they're doing a movie with Rey.
Okay.
And her building the next generation of Jedi.
Okay. So
All those questions might be answered.
I like that.
well, maybe. I have questions about things that happened and didn't, and why certain people died when they didn't have to, and other people. She healed the snake thing, but couldn't heal Kylo. I don't understand. It doesn't. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen that heap of shit, stuff happens. But yeah, Rise of Skywalker is number 20 for me. It's second last on my list. Disney really fucked up on those last two, in my opinion. Not a fan. So, Brian, what do you got next?
Second to last for me, I have the Phantom Menace.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So all the hype now back then, I saw it in the theater. Then again, you think about that was 99, I think it was 98, 99.
Yep.
And of course, obviously, you haven't seen any new Star Wars movie for years and years and years and years. You think about it, so Jedi.
So were you disappointed when you saw it for the first time? Because you waited a long time.
So you figure Jedi was 83, 84, and it was like all those years later this came out. It was such a huge thing back then. New Star Wars, oh my god. A couple good parts. The beginning scene certainly. Fighting Darth Maul. All that was great, but the pod race was It just seemed like
they were trying to show you what they could do with special effects a lot.
And
they were trying to
95% of the movie was all about politics and setting up. I'm just like it was boring.
The pod racing was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Well,
that was an effect show off. That was
in
just
the
to be
sense
like,
they had to put it in there for video games and different things like that.
Right.
Right. You know
Sell
what I mean?
toys.
Yep.
Right. But I don't know. So just at the time it was very exciting. And I remember even watching the movie in the theater. I'm just like, I don't really understand what in the hell is going on. They all these years to give us this. It was kind of a letdown. So that's why it's low.
Dean was so cold to it, he turned into a snowman.
That's right. That's right. Don't ask to see his carrot.
Baby carrot.
A baby carrot. That's right. Go ahead, Dean. What's next on your list?
All right. Next on my list is... What are we at?
I'm on 19 coming up, so...
That doesn't help me. My next one, number 14, Force Awakens.
Wow, that's low.
I didn't want to put it that low, but there was so many things that were better. I really enjoyed it. It was my favorite of the three, which, hold on, which doesn't make sense. Well, that comment doesn't make sense. Yeah, I have the two mixed up, but still, It's only like it's like a couple apart. The sequels are going to be lower for me, like they are for everybody. But I love The Force Awakens. I think
It was definitely exciting to see.
yeah.
When
From here on, these aren't my least favorite. Now we're just ranking
Upwards.
where I like, going upwards. So I love The Force Awakens. It was because I'm not here to shit on Star Wars. We're here to celebrate it. We're here to celebrate nerd culture, and The Force Awakens to me is, like you said, it was the return, like you had with the Phantom Menace. It was the return of Star Wars. What can Disney do? Was it close to the same plot as
a direct copy of A New Hope?
New Hope? Of course it was. But you know what? We took it. We accepted it. We enjoyed it. They did it well. So
It gave you what you wanted. It gave you
Exactly.
your character, your beloved characters back.
right.
And yeah, so
They gave you the ending with Luke before they destroyed him.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what more could you ask for? So
Okay. All right. So coming in at number 19 for me is the Star Wars Holiday Special. That's right. It is definitely better than the last two Disney. I shouldn't say it's better.
wow, that's
So full disclosure,
harsh.
here's where I'm coming from. Full disclosure, if I was showing someone a Star Wars movie and I only had Holiday Special, Rise of Skywalker, and Last Jedi to show them, I would probably show them The Last Jedi because it means nothing. It's not going to spoil anything for you, and it's not.
That's
it's
fair.
watchable, and you could kind of give you some idea.
You think the holiday special would spoil something
No.
besides their dinner?
Now this is Lumpy, and I don't want you. Lumpy might come up again later.
There's a character named Chewbacca. That's his grandfather enjoying that weird porn.
You guys you probably already know maybe what I'm about to say. The reason it ranks higher than those two god-awful movies, because let's make no mistake, we just had our July viewing party of the holiday special. It's terrible. It's hard to sit through, even when you've seen it a bunch of times, and you enjoy making fun of it with your friends. It's still difficult. It's so long and so bad the whole entire time. However, neither The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker ever made me feel an emotion. The Star Wars Holiday Special makes me feel an emotion more than anything else in Star Wars does. So therefore,
You talking about the porn scene?
yeah, right. They made a move.
Sure.
No, and I've talked about it on past episodes. The troopers come in, they rip the little toy bantha head off of the little Lumpy's,
yeah. Yep.
and he's sad, and he tries to put it together and tuck it in and put it under a blanket. It makes me sad. It's just so sad. He's just a little Wookiee. He doesn't understand why they would be so cruel to him, and it makes me sad every time. I joke, and it's funny to say out loud, but I genuinely, there's something in me that feels such sorrow for that character in that moment. I don't know what it is, just the innocence of a childlike figure and the sadness over an inanimate object, a toy. It's tender and it's
Have
sweet.
you thought about talking to somebody professionally?
Often.
All right.
Yeah. My therapist is quite familiar with my feelings on the holiday special and Lumpy's journey.
was like-
So yeah.
Nick, it's been 4 years. We have not got off that scene. Every week for 4 years.
There was just no reason for them to do that to the toy. Why would they treat the child that way? He's an innocent bystander.
I can't be your therapist anymore.
No. So, holiday specials down there for me because it is pretty awful and widely considered the worst thing that Star Wars has ever been a part of.
Sure.
But because of the one moment that it made me feel a raw emotion, I would have to say it ranks above the last two Disney movies for me. So, Brian, what do you got?
Okay, very good.
Is the holiday special?
I did not have it on my list, but I would say that is
bottom.
If we're ranking like of all the things ever put on television, that's toward the bottom.
Yeah.
Of everything ever televised.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period, in my opinion.
Yeah, not in Star Wars. Like anything.
No, anything
Wars, right.
ever televised.
Right.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's Okay, my third from last is Rise of Skywalker.
There we go.
You guys said a lot of it already, and we did a lamest villain episode not that long ago, a few weeks ago. Check that out if you haven't watched that. And Emperor Palpatine from that movie made one of my lamest villains list because of how they portrayed him in that movie. It's just ridiculous. The clone comes back. He's like, ugh.
Yep.
Terrible, and it limped to an ending, like you say, Rey being a Palpatine, I thought was absolutely stupid and ridiculous. I mean, there's no reason at all for any of that garbage. I don't know. I just didn't like it. Not that she had to be a Skywalker necessarily, but there was, I don't know. Whole thing was crazy. I know they were trying to clean up the mess from the second one, but I don't know. Just like you say, just a terrible way to end a trilogy. It had no plan. It was a terrible ending. That's it.
I know that we've talked about this. I've talked to you about this. People always, I always try to have the mentality of try not to complain about something if you couldn't have come up with something better yourself. Unless you have a suggestion.
Right.
I have a suggestion, and I thought I had it pegged. And I was like, mine would have been way better.
Sure.
I would have. Have I ever told you how I wanted Star Wars to end and how I thought would be brilliant?
Let's hear it.
In Episode 3, Palpatine is talking to Anakin about a Sith Lord who became so powerful that he had the ability to create life.
That's right.
Anakin Skywalker, famously born of a virgin birth.
All right.
How brilliant would it have been, full circle, if Palpatine was who he was talking about, gained that knowledge, that power, and did whatever with the metachlorians, created what became Anakin in his mother of virgin birth, and he's essentially his father. Full, I'm your father, full circle shit. What a mindfuck.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that, I mean, even if it's not the best thing out, is it not better than what they did?
No, you're right.
It's like, I don't know. I'm like,
Am I the
I
only
thought that
one
would be
that
cool.
we were getting a bike read? Like the way he presented it, I'm like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, I like this. I like this.
No,
Nope,
I just,
he went straight into real. Okay,
no,
all right.
no.
I like it.
That's what I
it's
wanted to
good.
happen.
It's good.
Yep.
I mean, if there were some electric bikes in there, that'd be great, but I'll talk more about that later.
Right.
But yeah, it's yeah.
All right, so I'm
next?
going to talk on it because it's next on my list as well. So
Okay.
and I'm going to go the opposite of you guys. I'm going to try to salvage it a little bit.
Okay.
Because simply, yes, it had a lot of flaws. The Palpatine thing was insane, but it wasn't its fault. J.J. Abrams was trying to clean up what the idiot did in the previous movie. He did so many things, he hurt Luke's character. He hurt Finn's character.
Yeah, what a waste.
I mean, yeah.
Finn started out, what a great character, and then just left
Yeah.
to die through the other two movies. Just like, great start, really loved the character, and then he's just irrelevant, like after The Force Awakens.
So yeah, I think that they did what they could. They had a lot of horseshit to work with that was spewed on to the audience, and could they have made better decisions? Of course they could have. But again, I just don't think it's 100% their fault. I enjoyed it for what it was, which wasn't much, but it was better than the fucking Last Jedi. So
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I know I'm bending over backwards, licking my own ass here. So, but
What else is new?
right. So, but that's what we have. Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker is number.
Anyway, why bend over backwards and lick your own asshole when you could take an electric ride to... No, I'm just kidding. No, maybe not. That's not the one. I'll pick my spot later. No. Who's next? You?
No,
Yeah.
That was.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That was number 13.
Okay, after the holiday special, I have ranked at number 18 the Ewok movie. Was it Ewok Adventure? Something like that? Honestly, I threw it up there because I remember I have seen it. I haven't seen it since I was probably under the age of 10. If you want a detailed review of it, I could not give it. However, I do remember as a child watching it. It was a fun movie to watch as a kid, and I remember enjoying it at that time. So that's about all I have to say. It made the list because I have...
Did either of you two watch the Ozark movie, TV show?
Yes.
No.
Are we not 100% sure that the child from the Ewok movie didn't grow up to be the girl from Ozark? TV
what's
show?
her face? I know. Well, shit. What's her name? I can see her face. What's her name?
She was just in there's a commercial with George Clooney. I just saw for coffee or some shit.
The Nespresso?
Yeah.
See? Go ahead.
Well, he's upset. with you for not working faster to find her name, Brian.
I guess it's really not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Let us know when you find it. But
Julia Garner?
No,
the
Julia
daughter?
Garner. Yeah, that's her name.
Sophia?
Julia Garner is the blonde.
that's not who I was thinking of. Laura
Linney is the mother.
That's who I thought you were talking about.
No,
I've never
Julia
seen
Garner. Look at her. She has Ruth with the blonde curls and the girl from the little kid from the.
I mean,
Star,
he's already
or
on
the
IMDb.
Ewok.
He could probably find out who that girl was.
I guarantee you the timeline doesn't match up.
Oh,
this was like the 70s.
No,
Hopefully
it's not.
the crowd. No, I know it's impossible too. If you guys would have known, it would have been.
I'm going to skip
funnier.
one here because I don't have much to say about these. I'm going to try to catch up to you guys.
Sure, go ahead.
After 18, an Ewok movie, I have number 17, Rebels. It's a TV series. It's an animated TV series.
It's good.
I've seen only a couple episodes. My kids liked it a lot, and so a lot of the characters you meet in live action in Ahsoka are from that.
Yep.
Ahsoka also is in that as well. But you know, a lot of those Disney animated series and things like that they did with Star Wars were really good. So, and Rebels was quite good as well. So anyway, that's 18 and 17 for me. Brian, what you got?
Okay. Solo. The movie.
Yeah.
No, he was just stating what he wished this
podcast was. Yeah.
Not a terrible movie. It was fine.
I enjoyed it.
It just, you know, they were trying to experiment with having these offshoot movies that other plans of other characters as well. It just was completely unnecessary. You know, it's like they really tried too hard, in my opinion, that we got to answer every single question that anybody might be thinking about Han Solo. How did he get his name? We're going to explain that. Where did he get his Millennium Falcon? I'm going to explain it. It's just they really worked too hard to get. Not the acting was okay.
Yeah.
Donald Glover was fantastic as a young Lando, and I think he's going to come back and reprise that role. We hear, right?
There still talks about him doing it, yeah.
Which is great. I mean, again, all that was fine. You know, how do you meet you? It's just, I don't know. There was nothing really earth-shattering or anything. Now, again, obviously, a lot of trouble with the production of that. Yeah, the directors that were fired. Ron Howard came in, tried to clean it up and try to just put something out there.
Yep.
Obviously, since the performance of that movie, they've kind of canned all the theatrical releases of these offshoot characters and stuff like that. Made a more series, I guess.
Well, not only that, but they decided to go with the de-aging rather than just doing a younger actor to play that thing. If Solo would be done today, they would have the whole movie of Harrison Ford de-aged on that.
Yeah. So that's it. It was okay movie. It was fine, but just not one of my favorites in the series.
Okay.
I believe that it was. I don't think that it got the credit. You should watch it again. When's the last? How many times did you watch it? Right, once.
Maybe.
It does hold up. Donald Glover is fantastic in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amelia Clark is terrific, but and I think that that was like the beginning of the Disney era, right? Without the Skywalker saga.
Right, yeah, that was the first thing they did that was because it was after Force Awakens. I don't know if it was after Last Jedi, but it was between the movies somewhere, and certainly before any of the TV series.
And I'm going to stick with my idea that they should have let Dave Filoni from the beginning take helm of the storytelling part. He didn't have to write and direct everything, but if he would have been what Kevin Feige is to Marvel and kept the main focus, I think they could have done better, because they tried that at the end with having Darth Maul, but a lot of people didn't watch Rebels or the Clone Wars or whatever, all those shows where you saw these characters that you thought died come back. Right. So they would just go, wait, what's the timeline? Because isn't he dead?
Right. Yeah.
And they didn't get that he survived and everything. So I think if you would have let Kevin Feige be in control from the beginning, that would have worked out much better. You wouldn't have had to do the complete rewrites and all that horse shit. So
Okay.
I enjoyed it for what it was. So and I'm going on about it because that was next on my list.
There you go.
There you
Okay.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then I'm up then.
You
All right.
are.
Number 16 for me, I have Andor. It was we talked about it. I actually started. I was late to the party, but I started watching it because you had spoke so highly of it, especially, and I'd heard other people who weren't even necessarily Star Wars fans say how much they enjoyed it. So because I just wasn't sure how much I was going to be interested in the plot and the backstory of this person I know is dead and and I know there is a second season coming. It's an odd thing to me, and I can't quite put my finger on it because it wasn't bad. Like it was. The acting was good. Mm-hmm. The storytelling was fine. I guess the story of it in general just kind of underwhelmed me. At no point did I find myself watching an episode
it was like a slow-paced
excited to watch the next one. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm making it through the story, but for the sake of doing it, nothing really ever grabbed me about it. But it wasn't bad. I mean, it maybe just was not my cup of tea, but it wasn't, badly done or anything. Sure. There was nothing in it at any point that like grabbed me, and I was like, this is cool. Like I was just kind of like, we're still watching it, but I wanted to stick it out and watch it, and but yeah, it was just kind of underwhelming for me personally, but not bad. Not certainly good acting. Like I said, the storytelling was good. I get the purpose of telling the story, and just kind of wasn't my thing. But yeah, so I have Andor at number 16.
Nice.
So
okay. I had The Last Jedi next. You guys said a lot of it already. It was just, like you said, it took a lot of weird turns. I did like the part of Luke when he was like in the whole battle scene. That was pretty cool out in the the salt area, whatever the hell that was, or whatever.
Real.
I know. But still, it was Luke as a badass, so that was kind of cool. But I don't know, just a lot of it was
like, you want badass Luke? Well, here's sort of what he is.
I know.
Yeah.
So obviously lower on my list, but that's I don't know.
Yeah,
you guys said a lot of it already.
We didn't even discuss this, and perhaps one of the most egregious things about The Last Jedi was the awkward floating Mary Poppins Leia scene.
Yes.
Yeah, so
floating through space.
Yeah.
I guess trying to show that she has Force abilities and how strong she is with the Force.
But what a weird time to do that.
So odd. So very, very odd.
Well, then the weird killing of who was the main guy there for 2 seconds there was the main villain.
Oh, Snoke. Yeah.
Yeah, again.
There's really no explanation about him, how he...
I mean, granted.
You just offed him so quickly.
But the way they did it was cool.
The way they did it was cool.
Cut him in half and he just slides up. That was cool.
Yeah.
You guys are right.
Felt like it shouldn't have been that easy to do.
Correct.
Well, right, and you created the whole awkwardness of like, well, who's the main villain in the last movie? And then they had to resurrect, Palpatine, which was very
It's like watching
bad.
wrestling where they have to keep bringing the Undertaker back just to get play the hits.
Yeah.
Play the hits.
Everybody's hurt.
Nothing original. Play the hits.
Bring the Undertaker back.
Right.
He's fine.
Yeah, just, I don't know. Just not well done.
All right, so I'm going to move on to
The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace. Again, like everybody else, I was excited after, 20-some years.
Mm-hmm.
You get a Star Wars movie. It was what it was. I mean, the pod racing took 45 minutes of the movie.
It was a long scene. Long scene.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of... It could be a good movie. A lot of those, just like some of the other ones... Shit. A lot of other movies in general could be better if you had somebody re-edit them, maybe.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Take things out.
Yeah.
Kind of condense it. But it was a little longer than it should have been. But you got the general idea of... It's hard... It's hard to see movies where you know the end.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
So you know that kid's not like, who's that kid? Oh my God, he's Darth Vader. You don't get that. So you have a lot of that. But the one thing that I always found weird about those was that they literally were trying to fool the audience with Darth Sidious.
Yeah.
Oh, and Palpatine.
Right. Like they like almost played it to where like, oh, this is somebody else. Like, again,
but he
it was
talks
very
the
weird.
same. He looks the same.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
He wears the same stuff that the other guy did.
It wasn't like they were trying to fool a character in the movie. They were trying to like fool the audience. It was just strange.
It's almost like taking Boba Fett and changing the colorway and making him the bad guy. It's
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, you should just have Palpatine just show him what, like you say, show him what he is. He's the senator guy now.
Yeah.
Show him go behind the scenes, put the fucking robe on, get on the Zoom call, right? And
Hold on, let me get my putty.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, just weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, Phantom Menace is my number 11.
All right, coming at number 15 for me is Attack of the Clones. We already discussed it a lot. Like I said, the past, I mean, kind of similar thing. It's like, kind of lacks some original. I mean, I get that you're telling the story of the clones and stuff, but the Jango Fett looks exactly like Boba Fett, just a different color. And like, it's that whole, until Disney got involved with their movies, this forever was my least favorite.
Absolutely.
I was just like,
100%.
This one can just fall into a ditch. I don't need it for anything. The only reason I have it ranked above some of the other things is that I really did, like I mentioned before, enjoy when you see that glimpse of Anakin being able to tap into that like evil side where he gets just overtaken with rage. That's the only reason it's where it's even at, but it's not anywhere near a favorite of mine.
But even all in general of the movies itself, when you get beat out because the cartoon told a better story of the Clone Wars than what you did.
Yeah. Right.
Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, Attack of the Clones was what did I say? Number 15.
Okay.
Brian.
What number
All
you guys on?
Let's see. Next up is the last one of the prequels, Revenge of the Sith. My favorite of the prequels.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. I think most people would say of the prequels is probably the best one.
Absolutely.
Where you see how Anakin really falls, and you kind of more understand his rage and everything with with losing his wife and everything. But again, the whole, I don't know. It still wasn't that well done. But of the three, at least it was, you did understand how the Vader character came to be more clearly. And of course, seeing him, the whole scene again at the end where with the lightsaber scene with Ben, of course, and Anakin, one of the best you're going to see in any Star Wars movie.
It's kind of how I imagined it almost in my mind. When I used to, when I'd heard the story when I was a kid, my dad would tell me about this whole lore of how Darth Vader came to be and this and Obi-Wan. It's kind of really what I pictured in my mind. They did a great job of kind of fulfilling what I was expecting. Yeah, that was amazing. And again, just the whole thing of, he's lying there in limbs cut off in the lot. He's been to sort of, I assume he's going to die and walks away. I mean, he had to figure out a way to do it. I understand that too, but to me, that could have been done better where Ben thought assumed he was dead.
He assumed he was dead. Something happened where he can't see him.
But you walked away with him screaming
dead.
In pain.
That was such a weird.
There's been
weird scene. It's just really
since then
odd.
we've had at least a couple of scenes to where you took the lightsaber and hit it twice. Bam, bam. You know what I mean?
Just a
exactly
merciful way to put.
You would make sure he's
misery.
dead.
Yeah.
Period. Somehow, some way.
Because if you don't think he can live, you're gonna, like you said, you're gonna let him lie there and scream in agonizing pain.
He was your friend
for his last moment.
At the end of the day, he was your friend. Right. It was your pupil, and you gotta let him just like suffer like that. It just made zero sense.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it was the best of the three. Like I said, the lightsaber fight alone made it the best.
All right, where am I at here? Well, this is our first venture into the current TV shows for me here, right? Yeah.
I'm going with the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best. It was a little clunky, only for the idea that like the majority of the episodes weren't about Boba Fett.
Right.
That was odd.
Well, what carried it was that you had to rely on other characters.
Right.
Showing up to make it.
But what they did tell you about Boba Fett, the idea of how he got out of the Sarlacc.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Started off strong. That was the very first scene. Strong start.
The idea of him living with the Sand People, I love that storyline.
Yeah.
Because it not only, told you how he's going to get to his bad guy to good guy, but it's also giving you a glimpse into like these people that were background weird evil characters from the original shows.
Right.
And they're giving you the idea of these people and humanizing them.
Yeah, where they're coming from, their tribal sense of community, whatever.
For that alone, and then it gave you your first glimpse into Ahsoka and that whole thing. So I loved it.
Well, Ahsoka was in Mandalorian first, but she does reappear in Book of Boba Fett. Her standalone episode is in Mandalorian. It's season 2 of The Mandalorian.
You're right.
That's
So you do see her before that, but her and Luke both show up again in
Right,
Book
there
of
you
Boba
go.
Fett.
But I'm saying is
Yes.
that scene there where you get Anakin's son and his apprentice, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who would have ever thought,
Yeah.
you know, X amount of years ago that would be a thing you could see.
Sure.
And that gave it to us, so I enjoyed it. Book of Boba Fett was next on my list.
Nice.
Yeah, very good.
Next, above Attack of the Clones, coming in at number 14. I'm sure neither of you have this on your list, but I just kind of clumped it in together because it is a Star Wars property. The last, summertime, Christmas time, whatever, they've been doing Lego Star Wars specials. They're like 45-minute long little, and they're cute. They're fun.
They're good.
They're, the kids enjoy them, and they're fun to watch. If you're a Star Wars fan, they're not just for kids. There's plenty of little Easter eggs in it for you and fun little jokes and things like that. So
Very good.
they're fun. They're just fun to watch with your family. They're obviously they don't, tie into any major storylines. They're not progressing any storylines or anything like that, but they are fun to watch and I do enjoy them. So I put the Lego specials up there and then I'll roll right into the next one just to piggyback and try to catch up with you guys. Book of Boba Fett I have next at number 13. Similar things as all that you said. The things that I really liked the most about it was that they brought Cad Bane into it. I love that character from the Clone Wars.
Awesome.
I thought it was super cool that they brought Cad Bane in, and that really
Whole
made
ending
me
of
excited about the show.
Avengers type.
Yeah.
Last episode was cool.
Yeah, so that was really cool, and like you said, I mean, it had its moments where it was cool, it was good, and everything like that, but ultimately, for such a massively popular character to finally get his day and have a series that revolved around him, I remember how pumped my dad was, because my dad is a massive Boba Fett fan, and he was like, he's getting his own show, and it was just like, yeah, the show's like, it's all right, it's not that great. And it was like, it was underwhelming.
Okay.
It didn't suck, it just was underwhelming.
Sure.
For what I think everyone expected it to be, and like I said, to base an entire series around a character that is so beloved and so in high demand, it just kind of fell flat for me, but I had Book of Boba Fett at 13. So, on to you, Brian.
Very good. Next I had was Andor. I enjoyed the series. Kind of a slow burn. I did really enjoy the backstory of how the rebellion was formed and everything. Again, solid. It was just sort of I think the most electrifying thing about that was the very end, was when they had the the whole hologram of the rebel, his mother,
the uprising,
just you could you understood how people could rally around and create the rebellion at that time. So it was a well done story and everything, but of the Star Wars shows, that was definitely lower on my list, although I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
So what's
I
next
like
for
the
you?
spy thriller aspect of it. I like the idea that it was different from the rest.
Yes.
You didn't see a single lightsaber.
Right.
It held the same feel almost and spirit of Rogue One.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
It gave you some really intriguing characters, and hopefully season 2 will take some of these other characters that were kind of minor and expand on them. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
You could have had one or two less episodes and it would have been fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but some of the working scenes to find out that's how they built the Death Star.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you always wonder, as a kid, you're like, how do you build something so big and so fast? You have, you arrest people and make them do it.
Right.
Yep.
I enjoyed it a lot. There's, it wasn't as high as maybe some other people's, but I enjoyed it.
Very good.
And I say that because that was
Next on your list as well.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're similar. Okay.
We're crossing over. I mean, as much as Book of Boba Fett was fine. Lego, I enjoy. Now we're crossing into things that I definitely did enjoy, but this is the lower part of that. Number 12, I have Rogue One. I like that movie a lot more than I ever expected to. When they first announced that, I was like, we're getting a little outside of the realm of like the storyline that I care about. Now you're really reaching. But I enjoyed that movie a lot more than I thought I would. I thought the characters were well done and well written. You find yourself invested in them. You obviously you assume you know how it ends. Sure. You know what I mean? There's when I showed it to Robin, and Robin liked it a lot too, and she was like, it just made me mad. I hated the way it ended. I'm like, well, it kind of had to end that way because
no other way.
You know exactly what it leads up into, and that's they all make that ultimate sacrifice to further the rebellion. And but yeah, man, I was really pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed that movie. I was, I was like, it's a Star Wars movie, I'm gonna go see it. But I don't know how much I really am excited about it or care, but it caught me off guard, and I did like Rogue One a lot, so that's number 12 for me.
Very good. That's next on my list as well.
Yep.
You said a lot already. Of these offshoot ones, I only did a couple, but clearly it was the best one. I guess it was well written, well done, well acted. And I really liked the added Darth Vader scene. Yeah. We really got to see him.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Extremely kicking ass at the end of that movie.
Or been okay with, the whole movie.
Yeah.
But like you say, Grand Moff Tarkin and the Vader scene at the end puts it over the edge.
And I just remember being in awe when Grand Moff Tarkin and the Leia scenes. I was just like, holy shit, this is unlike anything. This is CGI like I've never experienced. This is
future.
Like you're staring at it, you're like, that's a person. Like that's crazy. Yep. Really, really well done.
Yeah. So I definitely enjoyed it. So Rogue One.
Yeah, I agree. Rogue One. That was next on my list.
Is it okay? Yep. Okay, very good.
Taylor Swift.
I haven't watched it lately, but I need to go back and rewatch that. I haven't watched it in a while.
Sometime, I guess.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
All right, Nikolai.
Sorry, you rolled right. Number 11, I have The Force Awakens. We've already discussed it a lot.
Yeah.
We've pretty much touched on the stuff just briefly. Like I said, it was, you guys both said it was one of the first ones in a while. It was a pretty close mimic to A New Hope, but I remember how much fun we all went and saw it together in the theater.
Yep.
I remember how much fun that was. It was just exhilarating to hear the music and see those characters again. It was so cool. Yeah.
And the scroll and
I think part of what kind of upset me so much about the last two after that followed it, I felt like they were setting up Kylo Ren to be such a dynamic villain.
Sure.
And man, did they shit the bed with that one too.
Yeah.
I loved that he killed Han Solo. I loved that he was giving you that cold. He is through and through villain. He doesn't have that soft spot like Darth Vader did still in him. He's pure evil, and he's gonna. It was exciting. He had a cool look. It was similar to Vader, but its own thing. The opening scene where they just open fire, kill all the innocent people in that village. I was just like, man, this guy's badass. And then they ruined him too. But in that first movie, it was really kick ass. But yeah, I had an absolute blast with The Force Awakens. It was kind of that you were reinvigorated with that Star Wars bug. It was really exciting. So I enjoyed that one a lot.
Absolutely.
Very good. Next for me was Boba Fett. So I think a lot of that, just like your dad, it goes back to us seeing him in Empire Strikes Back as a kid. You were just intrigued by that character. Very interesting. And to see him fly out on Slave One on that series, I was super excited, super stoked. As the young kid in me came out of it. So I'm sure it's generational a little bit there, but like I said, they did devote, as we know, one whole series to the episode to the Mandalorian.
Right. Yeah. Mandalorian 2.5,
exactly,
season 2.5
which is strange, but overall it was pretty good. It was fine. I don't need to see multiple seasons of it, but
sure,
it was good. It's just the excitement of seeing him again.
And
put it up there higher for me.
And you got the answer that you've been wanting to for years.
How to get out of that pit.
Yep.
Exactly. That was great. It could have been 3 episodes.
Right.
Really, that would have been fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Out of the pit, sand people thing.
Done.
Yeah, kills people at the end with the, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yep.
I'm going to start, at least on my list, the
newer Disney Plus series, I'm gonna start with Ahsoka. Number 7 for me, Ahsoka. I enjoyed what they did. I love the Balin Scroll character. It is. It's heartbreaking that we don't get to see any more of him. You're watching him the whole time. Even if you didn't know that he passed away, you would just be watching that going, oh my God, this is the new... I don't know what he's going to be. Is he going to be good, bad? It doesn't matter. I enjoy him as a performance, as a character. And then, but knowing that he passed away, it's just heartbreaking going, it's so good.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
We get no more. And the way they ended it, have you seen?
I'm not even through with it. No.
Oh.
It's already. I still haven't mentioned it. It's that high on my list.
No.
I'm not even done.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So. All right.
Yeah.
It's good. I enjoy it. That's
Sorry. Yeah.
all right. Yeah. So,
It's Lane's fault because it's just the two of us that watch it.
Sure.
And it's hard to find the time to sit down for. We've only got 3 episodes left, I think, so we're close.
well,
But
Ahsoka.
yes.
Finish
Yeah.
it up. Yep, when you can. Yep.
Yeah. Number 10 for me, I have Solo. I really like Solo a
Wow.
lot, actually. It made my top 10. I really thought the actor that played him did a great job. Like you guys mentioned, Donald Glover is just a fucking treasure. He's fantastic.
Sure.
I liked it a lot. And the big thing that drove Solo, when we saw that in the theater, I felt like a child again. When Darth Maul appeared, I was genuinely shocked. I had no idea. And I was like, I had goosebumps because that's one of my all-time favorite characters. I mean, when that movie came out, I was a kid and he was marketed like crazy. I was super disappointed he wasn't in it more, but love the character. One of my all-time favorites in Star Wars. And to see him as a complete surprise to me show up in that movie, I was like mind fucking blown.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't know the last time I've had a feeling like that at the end of a movie, like a total just shock to the system. So that was a big part of it. But I really
what about
enjoyed the
one
movie
we
as
just
well.
watched?
We didn't get all the way to the end,
no,
so I'm
that's
waiting to see
true.
how that
That's
one
true.
finishes out. I'm hoping there's some time after the show. But yeah, Solo's in my top is number 10 for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next one for me is similar to Dean, Ahsoka. Yeah, I thought it was very solid. Great job. I wasn't that familiar with the characters going into this, but I thought it was a solid series. Yeah, the fighting was great. You know, the reintroduction of Anakin was very good as well. So, yeah, very enjoyable. I can't say a whole lot more.
If you want to watch, if you're going to tell somebody, excuse me, you just want to watch just for lightsaber fights, that series alone. I mean, every other episode was just magnificent choreography.
Sure.
Yep.
And yeah, it was fantastic.
And Rosario Dawson's performance alone is worth a watch for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Great casting for her. Actually, the whole cast, fantastic.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
She, even from when she showed up in The Mandalorian, it's like, what a great fit for that character.
Yeah, and the
She's
storyline is
incredible.
intriguing. It does set up for the future, you know, for sure, with future movies and shows and whatnot potentially. So yeah, so
There's
very,
some
very
things
good.
that they have to work
Yeah.
out and around and we can't touch because
Right.
Nick doesn't do his job, so we have to move on.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to get in. What? Oh, this is number 6 for me, so I can now get into the original side. And number 6, I'm going with Return of the Jedi. Probably higher on both yours list, but to me, it is lesser of the 3. It is. There is some fundamental flaws about the movie. There is some cheesiness that I feel that they just took a lot of, hey, we want to make monies and action figures, and said, let's do this here and here. And the story was great. The ending, when I say ending, I mean Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Lightsaber fight was great.
Yep.
I, to this day, will just... I cringe when I see all of the heroes posing. Like, is there a camera on the other side?
Right.
You're not supposed... Don't...
don't stare into the camera. That's not how movies work. Or you take
It is odd.
Well, they thought that was the last thing they were ever going to do.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, why would you do that? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I get it. It is.
Was that their Breakfast Club freeze frame?
Yeah, that's exactly.
I mean, like, hey.
Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Actually, on the count of 3, we do that so that way Brian can edit this later. The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. All right. So moving forward,
Great for the audio side on that.
right? Moving forward, the other thing that takes it down so much for me is the the series, whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
Special edition type
Special-
deal.
Re-release with all the bells and whistles. Look what we can do with computers.
And again, a lot of that was cool. I like some of the ships flying by, the things, but you and me are on the same boat here. That goddamn song that didn't need to be done in Jabba's palace.
Terrible.
It is beyond cringeworthy.
Terrible.
It is probably one of, at least my top 3 worst things in Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that scene.
Absolutely. It's probably my number 1. It is my.
Have you gone back to Attack of the Clones and seen Obi-Wan's?
See, I never noticed that before you said it. I've never noticed that.
Jesus.
But yeah, it definitely, that one's just, the song is so in your face and ridiculous.
And
unnecessary. Again,
unnecessary,
if you wanted
stupid.
to add in 5 seconds of it just to be like, oh, with the because it was in 3D too. So when they shot it, they were like, ah, there was
and you
spit
can
flying out,
tell,
and
and
things
it's
are coming out,
dumb.
and it's just, if you wanted to do
I'd
that,
rather
at the
seen
time,
that in 3D.
take 5 seconds of it, do it. Don't make it an entire song. Don't let them play an entire number. What are you doing?
For that argument, that is why Return of the Jedi is this low on my list.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
Nikolai?
Coming up next, I want to talk about. So number 9 is Ahsoka. We already touched on it. Like I said, I'm not even done with it, but I love it.
Fantastic.
I love the casting. I love the characters. I love the storyline. Ahsoka is a badass character. There's nothing I've found to not enjoy about the show. So Ahsoka's a lot of fun.
I do want to have this conversation again after
I'm done.
You're done, because the ending is a point less, should I say, than the series.
Okay. Are they making more, or is this just is that a one?
I don't know.
Season of
I
Ahsoka,
don't
and
know
that's it?
of if they're making another Ahsoka season, but this is all going to culminate into like an Avengers thing. They're gonna have the Boba Fett. They're gonna have Ahsoka. They're gonna have Mandalorian, Kenobi. Like all of them come together in a big bad finale movie.
Gotcha.
That's the plan.
Okay.
And with that known, again, we'll talk.
Okay.
Brian?
Next for me, I think it's number 6, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, number 6, Kenobi. That was a good, very good series. Ewan McGregor's great in that role. The whole scene with him fighting Vader. I mean, that's alone.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both, the first fight and then in the beginning of the series.
I never, when that show was, I never
loses.
expected to see that much of, and that's,
Right.
I thought, well, Darth Vader will definitely be in this. We'll see some stuff. It'll be like the last episode or 2. I didn't realize it would be sprinkled throughout. It was a pleasant surprise. I thought it was really cool.
I hate children's actors. And I was like really surprised how much I enjoyed the little girl who played Leia.
played,
great, yeah.
She was
played young
fantastic.
Leia was
Yep.
fantastic. Yes, absolutely. So
Yeah.
Kenobi's up there for the acting performances alone.
And the idea that, like, the little things that they did, like, in the original trilogy, he had, like, that weird scar here, right? And
Oh, right.
when
Anakin did.
Yeah, Anakin did.
Right.
When they took the mask off Vader, when Luke did, and then they explained how they got it because that's where
Right.
Kenobi, sliced his helmet. Like, little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Good attention to detail. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And it was a good tie-in to A New Hope, to where, because you watch New Hope for the first time, it's like, how does Leia even know who Ben Kenobi is? You kind of wonder about that.
Right.
And then obviously they tie that together nicely and answer those questions too. So, yeah.
From acting to cinematography to the writing,
I love that series
Yeah,
so much.
it was very
Right. Yep.
Oh, by the way, that was my next one. So,
Very good.
Nick,
Yep. Excellent.
I'm going to rattle off a couple here to catch up with you, and it'll be pretty quick. So number 8, I have The Phantom Menace. When this movie came out, again, I was a kid, and it was, looking back, as I've watched it since, I'm like, absolutely, it's underwhelming and things like that. But like I mentioned before with some other things with dynamic characters, the reason I like Book of Boba Fett so much was with Cad Bane. It gave me Darth Maul, and it introduced me to Darth Maul, and even though I wanted more of Darth Maul in that, he was such a menacing, awesome villain. As a little kid, I think we all could probably agree that we were all enamored with Darth Vader. We thought he was really cool. But there was something to me that, like, being a villain, not that it takes points away from Darth Vader. If anything, it adds another dimension to him, that he still had that good side to him. But like I mentioned, I was so ready for Kylo Ren to be this ruthless, evil character. Darth Maul was that. Darth Maul, there's not a good side. Darth Maul is a ruthless Sith through and through.
Yeah.
And that's what I love the most about him. He had the look. He played by Ray Park, who is a stuntman.
Yeah, so
incredible choreography, incredible just that lightsaber duel. That movie may have sucked for a lot of people, but you can't argue against the lightsaber, the duel of the fates, the final duel with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Darth Maul.
absolutely.
So love the Phantom Menace. And then at number 7, I also have Kenobi. Loved it. Thought it was a great series. Absolutely. I mean, like you said, it was just a fun adventure with him and Leia, and tied a lot of those questions together. So definitely very cool. So 7 was Kenobi. What number are you guys? What are you on? I'm trying to catch up when we get up to the top here.
Let's see, 3, 4, for number 5.
Yep.
For me.
Okay.
I have Force Awakens up here.
Okay.
Which is kind of, maybe surprising a bit. But
It's refreshing to hear. I like that.
Yeah, when that came out, it was obviously, again, the first thing we'd seen since the prequels. The hype was great. And that movie alone, they could have stopped it there.
If you ended it there, perfect.
And it would have been perfectly good.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole setup, it was great seeing the old characters come back. I wanted to see more Luke in the first movie, of course, but it was great seeing all the old characters come back. Like you say, the whole setup with Kylo Ren was very interesting. But it really got you hyped up for that trilogy.
To be let down
course,
for 2 straight movies.
Which really they did. But at that moment, it's like, okay.
Yeah, you're like,
they're bringing this back. It was like, it was well thought.
yeah.
It was okay. It was good. It was not a letdown like Phantom Menace. So when I compare the two of a stint between nothing coming out and that, I mean, the hype alone and everything, and of course the acting performances were very, very good. Very, very solid.
Yeah.
right.
Adam Driver, etc. was just fantastic. So that's it. So based on the singular movie alone, it was higher up on my list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. What did I do just now? I did Kenobi, so I'm going to go number 4, Revenge of the Sith.
Up there.
It's up there, more than your guys's, but simply because you get to see how Darth Vader's made. You know what I mean? Like, you get to see is maybe some cheesy as some people think that scene is that whole deal, but you get, like Nick said, you get the ultimate Star Wars lightsaber battle that you always wanted. You
envisioned, you pictured,
exactly. I think one good thing now is that I like that the idea of these new series that Hayden Christensen is getting his flowers.
Yeah.
That he's not just cast aside as this shitty, whiny actor. And I'm saying actor as in like him being an actor whiny, but like the character was whiny and he was shitty as an actor. And I like that people are revisiting all of this and appreciating him. Appreciating that, like, he wasn't a shitty actor. That's how the character was. The character was a whiny, pathetic character. Not only as Anakin, but as Darth Vader. He's always been pathetic. So, in that, I love the movie. It's the best out of the prequels. So, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very well said. I'm glad you said that about Hayden Christensen, too, because I love him in that movie.
Absolutely.
I just think he's cool, and I think he delivered on what I he kind of brought, before, you got to remember, before you had those prequels, all you ever had a vision of Anakin Skywalker was when that helmet comes off and a Force ghost of an old man waving at the, you're just like, to see a young Anakin Skywalker and see how
teenage
it gives you a lot more of that background that I think you're kind of craving to kind of understand Anakin Skywalker before the Darth Vader period. So definitely well said for sure. I'm going to give you 2 here so I can, again, kind of gain a little ground. Number 6, I have the Clone Wars TV series, the animated series.
Very good.
The Clone Wars does a great job of filling in the blanks, all that blank space of the Clone Wars. It ties a lot of stories together. It does a lot of great storytelling. As I mentioned before, big Darth Maul guy, his whole thing is in there. Like how he survives the pit, his return, his other battles with Obi-Wan, his play and everything. I mean, there's a lot of General Grievous in there. Again, another great character who's really, is awesome in Revenge of the Sith, but there again, kind of would like more of that guy. He's all throughout that as well. Clone Wars was really well done. Don't if you haven't watched it or whatever, don't be fooled by the fact that it's a cartoon or it was a Disney Channel kids show. It's really well done. I mean, it's really good. Was there like 9 seasons of it?
Something like that.
But it does a great job. Introduces you to Ahsoka, shows you a lot more of Anakin. I mean, there's just a lot of that stuff that it brings together. It's really well. Yeah, it's really great. Cad Bane, again, I was excited to see him in Book of Boba Fett because of Clone Wars. So a lot of great characters in there, dynamic characters, great storytelling. So I really like the Clone Wars. And then number 5, you guys to 5? Should I go to 5 real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Number 5, I have The Mandalorian. Great series. I'm guessing by what we've discussed and the fact that I haven't heard it from you guys, it's probably our favorite Disney series at least. But The Mandalorian's done really well. I enjoy it. The first season for me was a little bit slower, definitely like the characters. Second season for me, it really hit its stride. There were a couple episodes in there specifically that I'd like to mention that I watched multiple times. Like they were great. They were like standalone mini movies. The one with Bill Burr where they go into the Imperial, station or whatever.
Off his helmet for the first time.
So cool. Just a great,
not the first time on camera. The first one was at the season finale of the first.
Correct.
Season.
Yeah, when they get out of out of the cave there where they're escaping. But yeah, that was just a great. It was almost like a great standalone drama episode. Sure. Just really great. Bill Burr was fantastic.
Bill Burr was amazing.
Yeah. And then the Ahsoka episode, I watched no less than 4 times. Sure. Just, I couldn't get enough. It was like a mini standalone movie. It told its story, and come to find out, it sets up, where Ahsoka, where you're beginning with her series. But just fantastic. Great.
You know how that one ended
show.
If you watched the... Anyways, go ahead. Continue.
Great show, though. Mandalorian is number 5 for me. Brian.
Very good. Number 4, Mandalorian.
There you go.
You said a lot already. It's just... Of the Disney series, it is my favorite. It's a great separate storyline, ties the universes together a little bit, and you said it well. I mean, it was like I said, the first season. It was like, is this just going to be the
fun dad and kid show thing?
Right, that's what
the adventures of dad and adopted
right, it's
child.
Going to be like you said, second season, and then it's the episode with young Luke Skywalker coming into the base. That was like a lot of people. I mean, it was like there was rumors that was going to happen, and when it happened, I got a little misty seeing young Mark Hamill, young Luke Skywalker come out there just kicking ass as young Luke here. That was just fantastic. So very well done.
We have been to a lot of Star Wars movies and whatnot, but I will never forget that night sitting in my chair over there with Carter on the couch, and him first yelling out, "That's R2-D2." When the X-Wings come in, that's R2-D2. And my childlike brain couldn't imagine it. And I'm going, no, don't. I didn't say this out loud, but I'm like, don't tease me. Don't tease me. And then when it comes up, like you, man, I got teary-eyed. And just watching him come in and just tear it up, fuck. I mean, giving you that scene, because you have all these like books after, the original trilogy.
that depicted Luke as this epic Jedi that just destroys
warrior,
warrior, and like
You never really saw it until there.
We get.
Yeah.
And then all we got before was this old man who threw his lightsaber away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were we have been kicked in the balls as Star Wars fans. But when Luke Skywalker just started tearing things up and destroying like we know that he should have, fuck, man.
Yeah.
It would be understandable if just because of that, Mandalorian was number 1 on anybody's list.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just because of that scene,
Sure.
that episode alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I loved it. It was amazing. And I'm only continuing because that was next on my list.
There you go.
That's your third?
It was.
We'll start clumping up now here. Yeah.
All right.
So this is my number 4 now. So my number 4 is where it all began, A New Hope. Fantastic film. It's how we all started. It's what we all fell in love with. It's, there again. I don't know. At the time, they probably didn't know if they were going to get to make more. So it's a nice little tidy package. It's a good movie. All the things, people have blundered on and gushed about A New Hope and how well it was done for its time and all that stuff. So yeah, A New Hope is just it's a great movie. It's where you're introduced to the characters and you embark on this journey, and not much more to really say. I don't know how much I mean, it is what it is. Everybody knows what it is, and everybody knows how awesome it is, and A New Hope is number 4 on my list.
Yep. Very good. Number 3, Jedi for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Return of the Jedi. So, the original trilogy, it is my least favorite of the original trilogy overall, but obviously some very powerful scenes, as we already talked about before. I love seeing one of my favorite scenes in that movie, the Ewoks are corny. That gets annoying. Too much.
I never
Ewok.
got that until I was an adult.
Too many Ewoks. Unnecessary. I mean, I get they were trying to sell toys and everything else. It was supposed to be Wookiees originally, and whatever. It didn't work out.
It's empty.
But you're empty.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. I keep
okay.
reaching back there for my beer, and it's empty. I don't
You
know.
keep doing this, we'll do it.
Well, we'll discuss
it's
where our
okay.
beers are.
Right.
Now you mentioned that you already talked about the lightsabers with Luke and Vader. That was fantastic.
Yep.
The whole temptation of Luke and him overcoming and this and that was great.
And it is where you fall in love with the evilness of Palpatine.
Yes,
It's why you become
fantastic.
so
Right.
annoyed by Rise of Skywalker, because you know how badass he is
Right.
in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then you give us this clone.
Awful. Still, one of my favorite scenes of Jedi was when Luke first surrendered himself to Vader in that area of the base or whatever it was, and the stormtroopers leave. It's just those two talking. That scene was
Sure.
that was the beginning of the redemption of Anakin at that moment, when he said something like, that my father was truly dead, and he left, and he saw Vader kind of pause, and he was like, it's too late for me, son, and then he left, and he sort of paused, and that was it. That's when he started to really rethink, how he wanted to, Anyway, so Jedi.
I remember
Number 3.
watching that movie for the first time and seeing it like it was, my uncle had like surround sound, and it was like we were watching that in the speeder bike chase scene. Yeah. And I just remember being like, it was like sensory overload, just like how cool that was shot and the speed of it and and like people like flying into stuff. And I'm like, it was just, I don't know. There was cool, like you were mentioning the Ewoks, and I loved the Ewoks as a kid. Mm-hmm. Like I said, now as an adult, I rewatch it and I'm like, I get where when you're an adult or older seeing it at the first time, you're like, it's a bit corny to have the teddy bear people,
a little bit,
but I like the Endor stuff, and I like the speeder bike chase, and I always would imagine pretend to be on a speeder bike and stuff like that. And now with our friends at RPM Bike Shop, you don't even have to imagine that. You can actually get on your very own electric speed bike from RPM Bike Shop. All you have to do, if you don't believe me, you can go find out for yourself. Go to Facebook and type in RPM Bike Shop. They're located conveniently in Carrollton, Ohio, not too far from where we are. You can also find them on their website, rpmbikeshop.com. You can see the amazing electric speeder bikes that they have to offer you. Or you can give them a call at 330-808-7792 to whiz your way into a brand new electric future for yourself
You said
today.
whiz.
whether it's this galaxy or a galaxy far, far away.
Solid.
Thanks.
Very good. Very
solid.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. My next one, number 2, New Hope.
So this is entering.
Yeah.
That was your top.
That was my
That was three.
third.
That was 3.
Okay.
We're going top 2.
Okay.
A New Hope, like everybody, was your entry into Star Wars. Your, whether you saw it in the theater or you saw it on HBO or on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever.
I just streamed it. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever generation you saw Star Wars, it is your introduction into this world. From the young Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. It had the gravitas of
Good term.
of Alec Guinness, right? I mean, he spent so many years in the British movie scene and play scene, but as a comedic actor, he was not a action star or a dramatic actor. He was a comedic actor, but he still. I mean, I think one of the bigger movies of dramatic acting that he did was Bridge Over the River Kwai, which I grew up on, which is fun if you
The River Kwai. You grew up on the River Kwai.
Bridge Over the River Kwai was
You grew up on the bridge of the.
no, no, he was in the movie, but like if you want to like cross thread Star Wars lore and whatnot, did you watch the movie Bridge Over the River Kwai?
I have not seen it, no.
I'm not going to whistle right now because it's going to mess up the mic, but da 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 da.
Oh, okay.
Da, da.
Yeah.
That's what they whistled while they built the bridge in that movie.
Okay.
And then later, it was what the in Mel Brooks Spaceballs, ding 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 ding. So they whistled or whatever the same tune, and Alec Guinness was in that movie Bridge Over the River Kwai. So I don't know how many.
I know that tune from Friends. There's an
Okay.
episode of Friends where they're whistling that together. But it's so funny. Yeah, as soon as you said
I
it,
actually
I'm like,
got out of a detention one time because I was walking down the hall, skipping class, and whistling that song, and a teacher come out and goes, "I won't give you a detention for just roaming these halls if you can tell me where your whistling song came from." I said, "Bridge Over the River Kwai." He's like, "Get back to class."
Nice.
So
There you go.
What is your favorite Alec Guinness tie-in?
come on, Dean Fact. I didn't win those stamp. Dean Fact. I like that.
All right. So I'm in my number 3 right now. So number 3 for me, and I have this ranked the highest of the 3 of us. I loved Revenge of the Sith so much. It is my 3rd favorite Star Wars.
Man.
I ain't mad at it.
I love it.
I ain't mad at it.
It is the movie, Star Wars or not, that I have seen the most in the theater. I saw it 7 times when it came out. I was in love with that movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't get enough of it. It was like I said, it gave me everything I wanted. There was so many cool things about it for me. The storytelling, seeing the transformation of Anakin before your eyes, resisting the dark side, then eventually giving in. And, I loved that movie. And even like I mentioned before, General Grievous was a great little side villain that, I just thought he was very dynamic and cool.
And let's not take away from Count Dooku.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like how amazing that character is, right?
Yeah.
And what he gave to get the character of Anakin, to where he needed to be.
What a killer scene too with the lightsabers, just the
do it.
Yeah, right.
Do it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that scene alone, come on.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I loved it. I mean, I've struggled sometimes because I feel like it's almost like self-judgment. It's like, you shouldn't have one of the prequels. But I loved it. I really do. It's the one, it's one of the top 3. Like, if you say I can only watch 3 Star Wars movies ever again, it's one of my 3.
Sure.
Yep. for me. So that's the judgment I feel in my head when I put Revenge of the... No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's okay.
Real quick, Brian.
There's a lot of good stuff in that movie. There really is.
Give us 2 bad things
Two bad things
about that movie.
Okay.
Obi-Wan leaving Darth Vader. It's the one he mentioned. You don't like
About
that.
the what?
Obi-Wan leaving Anakin there to
Okay.
to odd.
That was odd, and then
That was needed. I mean, like he said earlier, how else were you going to do it?
Sure.
but
You
also
get a phone call. Excuse me, I got to take this.
well, again, they could have to where he didn't know he was dead or not.
Sure.
They could have done it.
He just
Or if he
snored.
passed out and he wasn't... If he wasn't lying there screaming at him, if he had passed out from exhaustion and he'd be like, oh, he's dead, and then he comes to, or...
Or
You know,
like he's playing possum, but he only has one arm, so he just does this.
Well, the other odd thing at the end of the movie was like, I'm like, George Lucas, you know how New Hope is, right? You know how that storyline is. You have correct how that movie ended with the twins being. It's like it made almost zero sense. So the twins are born. She dies, and then Then he gives Leia to, the guys on Alderaan, the family. He takes Luke down, and it's just like. It's like people. It's like I just it was it did
you don't understand why they split them up, you mean? Or you don't... Or,
I understand why they split them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you're upset about here.
But it was like it's I don't know. It's when you tied that scene into New Hope, it just for me it just didn't make. I know it's hard to do. When you made New Hope, you weren't even possibly thinking you were going to have a prequel someday to try to explain how things led up to that. But it was like he didn't know who Luke was. I don't know. But that's where Kenobi did a good job of trying to tie that together.
Sure.
But at that moment, though...
Who didn't know who Luke was? Anakin? Or who...
like... Ben.
Okay.
Well, first of all, let's stop here and appreciate and know one fact from Star Wars. No matter 16 or 21 things that we talk about, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a fucking liar.
Well, that's true.
Right? I mean, like, everything he said, whether it be from a certain point of view or for the good of whoever, throughout the whole series of Star Wars, Ben is a liar. I mean, great character. I love him.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do hand stuff to McGregor, but Ben Kenobi's
You just had to throw that in there. Every conversation we have, Dean has to say you do hand stuff to Ewan McGregor. It's the thing.
Just staring to your eyes.
That's it. The lava scene and the birth thing and how they split. I don't know. It was just odd for me.
That's fair.
All.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm down to number 1, right?
This is your number 1.
My number 1 didn't change from 3 years ago, and it will never change. I mean, you realize the immaculate Star Wars you would have to present to beat The Empire Strikes Back? Come on.
Yeah.
It is a near perfect movie.
Yeah.
And then Star Wars stance and lore, it is the perfect movie. It gives you everything you need. It introduces to you Billy D. Williams. Come on.
Sure. Yeah.
What else do you need? It gives you the fight of the first fight of Luke and Vader, the revelation that blew everybody's fucking mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on. It first gives you the small glimpse into what Leia is capable of. You don't know she's the sister in any of that, but at that scene at the end where if she wasn't Force sensitive,
he's stuck out there on that cloud. Yeah, he's gonna fall.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, there's so many little things that they did in the beginning on Hoth, like how amazing that was. With you get a Wampa.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back is a beautiful film and a great Star Wars movie.
It might be a silly thing to bring up, but I've always loved when the battle on Hoth. I've always loved that. Tripping up the walkers and stuff.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's all very Yeah, it's just all very cool. There's, as a kid, that was not one of my favorites because it was so long. Like, it was just a long movie. It was the longest movie of the three.
And probably for kids also, the bad guys lose.
Right, yeah.
I mean, Han Solo, presumably, is just sent off to die.
Yeah.
But as an adult, you look at it and they go, fuck yeah, that's what should happen.
Yeah, right. But it's one of the, if it's even possible, it's almost progressively more admirable every time I watch it.
Yep.
Like every time I watch it,
100%.
I pick out something new to admire about it, and it is hands down, it's the best Star Wars movie. It is.
And if you look at
I don't think it's even up for debate.
Minute, portrayal for Anthony Daniels, C-3PO. I mean, yes, he is doing a voiceover for a robot, but he is in the robot. Like he is doing the physical robot as well. But like, just if you look at the minute acting choices with him on the back of Chewbacca, like some of the way he presents it's just, come on. If you break that movie down scene to scene, it is.
Yeah,
you'll agree with me, hands down.
And so many imaginative locations, like we mentioned, Hoth. You got Cloud City. You got. I mean, there's just so many. That's the first time you see Yoda. There's Dagobah. There's all of. I mean, there's so many epic and legendary landscapes throughout Star Wars that are all exclusively or at least introduced in that movie.
It's like George Lucas got to do the first one and go, if that's all I can do, cool.
Yeah.
Here it is. Like you said. Nice little tight packed movie.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their medal. We're done.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I get another one? Well, this is my vision. You know what I mean? And like, I have all these worlds. And if he doesn't give us all these worlds, you can't do like where we ended. Never mind. He hasn't finished Ahsoka. Fuck, I was ruined. Fuck.
Thanks for holding up on that. I was like, what's happening right now?
Okay.
All right, well, shit.
I'm just saying, you get a
I promise you right here, right now, by next
started.
week, I will have it watched.
And I want to have, like, not even on the show. I want to, like, have a conversation about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But, yes, it gave you so many worlds, so many things, and it opened up what everything essentially became. So that's why I'm always and always will be Empire Strike Back is my number one. Nice.
Now, like you, my top three did not change, and I am on number two, and my number two is also Empire Strikes Back. I don't have much more to add. We just discussed it at great length. Like I said, it is hands down. I will be the first to say it. It is the best Star Wars movie. It's not my favorite, but it is the best. It's the most well done. It's fantastic. It's immaculate. From a Star Wars perspective. Do you want me to give one? Do we go in order of one, or do you want to come back?
Go ahead.
You want me to do my number one as well?
No, I'm on number two as well.
Oh, you are? Okay, then yeah you go.
Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Same.
Well, there you go.
Yes, a lot already. Arguably one of the best sequels of any movie, period.
Oh, sure.
Any.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there.
We did actually an episode, I believe, on sequels, best sequels, and we always like, this is the one. It's like it's Empire Strikes Back. Like, is there a better sequel than that?
And it did not obviously did not destroy what New Hope set up.
Right.
You know, like you said, the whole thing.
Fuck up anything for another movie.
You're exactly right. And like you said, the angst at the end, like you already said, was really real at the time. It was like, I remember, like I said many times on this podcast probably, but I mean, as a kid watching that in the theater, it's like, okay, well, surely they're going to rescue Han Solo, and then, nope.
Yeah.
You're not going to rescue Han Solo. It's like, this is, bad things happen.
And from then on, how many things have we watched where you go, like, given TV shows, where you go, oh, this is the Empire Strikes Back episode. Where, like, shit needs to go down for the good guys and, like, fall apart before, you could have that rise.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, I don't know if you guys, but, like, I've always watched those episodes and go, this is the Empire Strikes Back episode.
Yeah.
You got to have, everything fall apart first.
Yeah.
That's right.
And how much was that really done at that time, even? You know what I mean? In popular, you know what I mean? Like, to leave a cliffhanger like that.
You weren't alive that long.
Oh, well, I know. That's why I'm asking Brian.
No,
it was.
It was.
If it happened, I don't know.
As a kid, it was stressful.
Yeah.
Like I said, because you think about, like I said before, in my era, I was like in sixth
He was
grade.
gray after that, actually.
Yeah. But I was in sixth grade and they ended it. And it's like, what? It's like, nope. Credits roll. It's like, this is it. It's just like, holy shit! What happened to fucking Han Solo? I can't get my head around.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, you had to then you had to wait 4 more years.
Brian's mom doing sit down.
Well, shit. I hadn't thought of it until you said it, but that's kind of the. I don't know if have you seen the new Spider-Verse, the second Spider-Verse?
No, not yet.
Okay,
No.
well I'm not giving anything away about the plot, but it is an
that-
Empire Strikes Back.
But if you do
It
3
is-
movies,
Right.
your second one
It is that
should
formula
be that.
because this one ends in a
I
way that
agree.
you're like, that's that Empire Strikes Back feeling
You're
where you're like, okay, shit's really ramping up now.
Yep.
Because if you can't have all 3 movies go, good. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? Like, why are you watching it if like everything? And Marvel has done that to where like some of these movies, everything's kind of down to shit.
Right.
Yep.
So I mean, but I think that's where it started. Was Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Infinity War, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking half of everybody's gone, and that's then the bad guy wins that that day.
You gotta have the low point before you get high.
Yeah.
Right. And then the brilliance.
I mean,
I always get high after a bad day.
Right.
That's right.
I was married. So
The brilliance of Frank Oz with Yoda, and then the dialogue. If you just sat down and watched just all the dialogue between Yoda and Luke, that in itself again is worth watching that movie. Just the teachings, phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's it. Well, you have to watch and listen. Because if you just read that,
that's right.
It's like a mental patient talking, but like you definitely have to hear and listen.
Right. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I think you're done. Then we're on our number one now.
My number one.
So if you're keeping track at home, I know what yours is, and you know what mine is, and so my number one
did not change either.
That's right. I was gonna say my favorite will always be my favorite. My favorite will always be Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. It is my favorite. I love a good conclusion to not that.
That's all I'm giving.
Okay,
that's all I'm giving.
I would like to specify the original theatrical release of Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars thing ever.
That was a pretty good.
That was great. Yeah, you even spit on me and everything. That's right. It was great. It was very real. I felt like I was there. But yeah, it's I don't know. Even just like as a kid, I always there's so much building, and I loved all that it reveals. I love the final epic conclusion of Luke and Darth Vader. I love the reveal of the helmet was always, especially as a kid, was just so mind blowing. Just to see, like, wow, here he is finally with that. You see the glimpse in the back of his head in Empire, but you don't get to see him. What's he look like? And this big reveal. The good guys get their revenge. They win. I love that movie. Similar things to like Empire. I love the Rancor scene, and the Sarlacc pit. There's a lot of epic Star Wars lore and things and characters and creatures in there as well. And of course,
did you? Sorry, finish that thought.
Salacious B. Crumb. Come on. This is why I show up to Star Wars stuff. Right. Salacious Crumb is why I'm here. Just for a glimpse, just to see a glimpse of him. Or a Kowakian monkey lizard in anything as we have seen in The Mandalorian and
they
things.
Were eating them,
I love so they were, yeah. They were. So. What series was it? Was the new series, the new season of Mandalorian where they were on the trees when he goes to
That's right.
So I always get a little my kids are always like, Dad, look, because it's like I have a little shelf in my bar there with Salacious Crumb things and stuff like that. I don't know what it is about the character. I just find him very interesting.
He's probably both wear the same T-shirt size.
He's just such a little shit, and I love it. Like, it's just he's an antagonist, and he's just a peon, and he's pretty worthless, but he's just a little shit, and I enjoy it. I enjoy
total sense.
I enjoy him laughing at other people's misery, and he's just that little fucker. Like, he's just, I don't know, something.
Speaking of that movie, they did some sort of like book or whatever. I can't remember where it was canon, right? But
it's not my Salacious Crumb porn fanfic thing?
No. We're going to make that, you and me. No, but the scene on the barge where Luke kicks and the clearly the actor kind of falls back where he wasn't touched.
Yeah.
Right? And it was the wrong angle. They fixed this just recently. I think it was a book.
but it explains that Luke used a force kick.
Oh, force kick, yeah.
Right. So, so they.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if any of you ever read the or audiobook from a certain point of view, they do one for all three trilogy or original movies, and it's the side characters in their points of view of that movie, right? It's fantastic, but it kind of gives you like the idea of like some of these things that went wrong, like the Star Wars, the stormtrooper bumped his head.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you why he did that.
Oh, wow.
It gives all the
a lot of minutia.
It's such a cool book.
Yeah.
Like
I've heard you talk about it before. Yeah, it sounds cool.
And again, I listen to audiobook and I recommend that first of all because it's very cool. So, anyways, given Return of the Jedi, you know, the guy kicks him where clearly it misses. Yeah, they've now explained that.
Okay. So. And another, like, Return of the Jedi's got, like, I mean, like I said, looking back on the Ewoks, I'm like, I see how it's like, oh, it's a lot of, like, teddy bears. Why are there, like, teddy bears in it? But I also really enjoy, like, just little things about it, like, the way that Luke used the Force to lift up C-3PO to, like, make them think he's a god, to get them on his side. Just, you know, and the action scenes of speeder bikes and stuff. There's so much in that for me personally. Yeah, for me personally, I just love that movie. It's always been my favorite. It probably always will. Well, it will always be my favorite. But yeah, Return of the Jedi is number one for me.
I respect that.
Really good. And it also brought us every holiday season. Some guy on YouTube, again, look up Vader Yule log.
the Yule log, yeah.
It is so good.
It's like a 5-hour loop of Vader burning on that.
When we come down every Christmas morning, it's the first thing I do. Vader Yule log.
Get the background flame and there's different things happening in the background. It's
every Christmas morning now.
Comforting crackle.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. My number one, New Hope.
Yep.
You know, again, as a kid, that was just it was the biggest thing out there back in '77. It like you said, it was a beginning, middle, end. If it ended there, that's how you wrote
43?
it.
A young man at the ripe age of 43.
Third grade when that movie came out. It was nothing bigger at the time. Nothing like it then from a movie experience. Nothing really hit me like that, even probably to this day, where it was just like something that really hit you, that you never saw anything.
Could you imagine having it was really something amazing. Like that affect you now?
Yeah,
like to see something like
I don't know what they could even do.
And stuff. Like, yeah, like is it possible?
I mean, you know what? Well, Avatar was in that realm in the sense of watching something like that in the theater in a 3D, to where they clearly took the time to create a world like that. Even though from an experience perspective, I'm not saying Avatar was a better movie, but just from an experience perspective, that was up there. But yeah, Star Wars again, great introduction of all the characters. Vader was larger than life. You know, I mean, what else can you say? Really?
Yeah, sure.
It's just fantastic.
I think it's interesting and kind of cool that, like, obviously our top three are all different, and they're all the original trilogy, and they're first, second, and third movies.
That's right.
That's like yours was 2, yours was 1, and mine was 3. Well, 4, 5, 6, I guess, but in that order. Yeah. But I thought that was kind of, when you said it, I was like, hey, that's kind of interesting.
Well, it's the storyline, it's the acting, it's those characters.
And nobody's going to argue that I'm right. I mean, so.
No.
I mean, Empire's up there. I mean, that's my second. I mean,
would you agree that it's the best one? Empire.
I mean, from a film perspective, I agree.
Because like I said, it's not my favorite. It's my second favorite, but I agree. But there's no debate to me that it is the best one.
Correct.
And it's just not my personal favorite, but it is the best one.
And emotionally, I mean, you were impacted as a kid, as I was for New Hope. So that definitely gives it some lift on my personal list for sure. But you're right, the best film is Empire Strikes Back for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm right. You all heard it. Now
it's been confirmed.
Move on to year 4.
Let's hear that Blake Insurance Agency number one more time. Pop quiz. You want to call
234 571 5289.
Jesus, that was worse than the last time you got it wrong.
Fuck
nope.
Yeah.
You only got like 2 of those numbers right. The other 2 are just not even in there.
Everyone's got to put several children through college. Now, come on now. Yeah.
I also might have had a few of these since the last time you asked me.
8675309.
Well, although that
You're
number,
gonna want to call Tim Misney at 8675309.
you know
Aaron Blake.
What
you know
Aaron
who
Blake
he is
does.
and you know what he does.
You guys drive by these billboards
But it's just his eyes.
Tim Misney and he goes, you know what I do?
You know who I am.
And
you
you're
know
like,
what I do.
yeah.
I do know what you do.
get redheaded girls and adopt them.
That's it.
What?
Little Orphan Annie.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'm like, is there
Daddy
something
War-
about Tim
he
Misney
looks like
that I
Daddy
don't know?
Warbucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It's not as funny when I have to fucking explain it.
Yep.
It's not as funny when you're half drunk and tell us a joke. No, I'm just kidding.
Half drunk.
No shit.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm fully drunk.
Half deal.
Asshole.
Yeah. All right.
So you
Well,
only have a half
Well, it's
show.
been 3 years since we started this episode.
Yes.
And we're grateful that you hung around for the whole one with us.
yes, absolutely. Well, although Dean doesn't have Aaron Blake's number, necessarily tattooed in his mind.
What is it?
I'm going to give you. That's right. He still doesn't know it. I'm reading off
I
the
got
page,
it the first time.
and I still don't know.
Well, we'll remain to be seen. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, speaking of tattoos, we're going to mention our other sponsor here. So, Golden Heart Tattoo. Matter of fact, I'm going next week, next Thursday. As a matter of fact, so a week from today. Is that right? Yeah, that makes sense. See Scott and his partners here at Golden Heart Tattoo in Northeast Ohio, in beautiful Norton, Ohio. Find them on Facebook at Golden Heart Norton, and ORTON. Give them a call at 234-706-2982. I am reading the number. 234-706-2982. Thank you very much. And you can find them online at goldenhearttattoos.com.
I'm going to listen back to this whole episode and see who got numbers right the first time.
Yeah, I think he messed up 2 different ones.
I
too.
did not. 234-706-2982.
Ooh.
Thank you very much.
Alright.
Thank you very much. So,
Alright.
there you
Somebody's
have it.
taking their Prevagen.
Consummate professional. Not today, Alzheimer's. Not today. Not with this one.
Well, we rated our Star Wars movies a long time, so if we want to hear your ratings out there as well, if you're watching.
What would you
or
rank this
listening.
episode in comparison to others?
Better yet,
Yeah.
write us on Facebook or wherever the fuck you do it at. Rank us 1 to 3.
There you go.
3 being the worst, unless it's me. Then that's the best. 3 to 1.
Sure. There you have it.
I mean, I can do it. Could you guys do it?
Could I rank us?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, clearly it's 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
Best to worst.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're same.
in agreement.
I would not rank myself.
And that's
the
why
best.
he's number one.
Right.
No.
He's doing it to prove his point.
Yeah.
No. As we said though too, probably the greatest Star Wars film is The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
But from a favorite Star Wars movie, and that's our favorite. We're not saying it's the best theatric, whatever. It's just our favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite still is
I got a
A New
real quick
Hope.
question. You just made me think of it, Brian. Your house is decorated in a sense of just you've got the coolest pop culture stuff and all around it. Do you think that you might be in that boat if it wasn't for Star Wars? You know what I mean? Like you said,
collecting.
yeah,
and
like you said,
yeah.
it opened your eyes to like such a different world.
Yeah.
Do you think that you wouldn't have been on that path, so to speak? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was definitely something that shaped me as a kid for sure. As my parents did let me have posters and things in my room, but at that time I had. It's funny. It's Kiss, Star Wars. It was like ultimate '70s type stuff as a kid. Kiss, Star Wars. That made up the bulk of the stuff in my room.
What was her name?
The girl.
The poster girl. Come on.
The first poster I had was Morgan Fairchild.
There you go.
Yes, indeed.
That's '70s there.
That's definitely late '70s for sure.
See,
Yeah, so-
posters on my wall were just Harry Anderson from Night Court
I can imagine.
in different variations.
And there's your Night Court reference for this
That's right.
episode. It wouldn't be a convincing
And
idiots
drink.
episode if
Yeah,
it were.
shirtless here, innocent with just a gavel.
That's right.
Weird poster.
So many nights.
Yeah, yeah. So that's it. So why don't we not recap all of them? But why don't you recap maybe our top
3
10.
or so. 10?
top 10?
Well, if we do it individually, you can go 10 real
Okay.
quick.
Go recap your top 10.
All
Go
right.
ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
going to start
Jim.
my top 10. Book of Boba Fett. Number 9, Rogue One.
Oh, God, where's my list? There it is.
I'm reading slowly. Number 8, Endor. Number 7, Ahsoka. 6, Return of the Jedi. Number 5, Kenobi. Number 4, Revenge of the Sith. Number 3, Mandalorian. Number 2, A New Hope. And the greatest film of Star Wars is The Empire Strikes Back.
Fantastic. Now, give us that Aaron Blake Insurance Agency number one more time. 4th time's a charm.
234-571-5359.
Holy shit! He did it that time.
There you go.
What's
Nice job.
great is it might got a cut off of me not knowing it.
Yeah, no,
So-
it works. Okay. I want to try that again. My top 10. Number 10, I have Solo. Number 9, Ahsoka. Number 8, Phantom Menace. 7, Kenobi. 6, The Clone Wars. 5, Mandalorian. 4, A New Hope. 3, Revenge of the Sith. Number 2, The Empire Strikes Back. And number 1, Return of the Jedi.
Relax, you're okay.
I just don't want the camera to die again. I got PTSD. I'm scared.
Hey, your legs are going.
It's nervous energy.
Your medium-sized pants are just waving about.
Your 30-30s are going nuts.
30-30 Slims, baby. That's right.
Skinnies.
That's right.
They're half spandex.
Number 10 for me, Andor, the series. Number 9, Rogue One. Number 8, Boba Fett. 7, Ahsoka, Kenobi, Force Awakens, Mandalorian, and my top 3, the original trilogy in order: Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and number 1, A New Hope.
And I said this before, the camera cut off, but I think it's worthy saying again. I thought it was cool
Yep.
that each of us had a different one, but one of the original trilogy movies. And you had episode 1, you had episode 2, and I had episode 3. So,
There you
or
go.
I should say 4, 5, 6.
Correct.
But
It
yes,
fits with our age range as well.
Sure.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very good.
very cool. Star Wars is cross-generational. We are proof.
Yes.
He likes old things. I like good things. You like teddy bears.
That's right. I do.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
And I will say what I did before. I want to thank you two for the last 3 years. It's been fun. We've got to stay connected and all that. And more than anything, I would like to thank anybody who has been
Whoa,
listening.
more than me? You're going to think someone who listens maybe sometimes more than me who's here most of the time?
He's got a point. I don't thank you as much as him. I do thank you, but, come on. Look at him with his
My 30-30s.
medium shirt and his 30-30 pants. Come on.
They have
thank him more.
spandex. Get the slap on that thing.
But again, thank you guys so much. It's just insane that anybody would take time out of their day to listen
Absolutely.
or watch, and we thank you.
Yes. And we apologize. So thank you.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. I second that. Thank you to you both.
Yes.
It's been a fantastic 3 years. Hopefully many more to come. And thank you to anyone who's ever spent any time, whether it's just checking us out to be supportive or if you have listened to multiple episodes and, if you're listening to the end of this by now, extra
You are
special
a
thank you.
fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you like it or not. You don't have to claim it to anyone, but you are a fan.
You know what's going to be fucked up is we did this and Ryan goes, good night.
So yeah, I got to edit this shit now, so see you later.
No, I share the same thoughts. So just the laughs, the increased connection. As I said before too, I mean, I don't have young kids around my house. My daughter's grown, doing her thing, and then doing this with you guys is something I can look forward to every week. And it's good. It's been a nice creative filler for me in my life on that side of it, but certainly the connection and the laughs that you guys have been, that's worth the effort and time alone. So thank you.
Well, can you mention who Peyton Swiss, just so I can say fuck Joey?
Yeah, Peyton and her wonderful boyfriend Joey. I almost said lovely
Amazing
boyfriend, but wonderful boyfriend.
Her amazing fucking boyfriend, Joey.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Joey, take a long walk up a short pier.
I won't stand any longer for the sullying of Joey's good name, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I'm the president of the Joey fan club and the Taylor Swift fan club is also. So for this episode of Convincing Idiots, if you have not already done so, be sure to check us out on all of your favorite social media accounts. We are on the majority of them because we're super duper popular boys. To find links to them, you can find those on Convincing Idiots Linktree. Go to Google, type Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE. You will also find links to our merch store and our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. All that and so much more for you there. So, for this episode of Convincing Idiots, this has been 3 years. We are embarking on our 4th. Thank you for joining us. I am your Millennial Nick.
I'm your Zennial Dean.
I'm still Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you to renew your contract for at least one more year with these lovable idiots? Come on. Look at these punums. Ow.
Hey, Dean with Convincing Idiots. Brian and Nick here. Like and subscribe.
Ham gravy.
Edit.
All right. Test.
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 You are wrong.
I am wrong.
You are wrong because you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have convinced you successfully that you are wrong.
Unfortunately, you don't have to convince me.
But you didn't at first, and now he does. Now he's convinced. So
I'm now convinced I'm an idiot.
Perfect. Let's see what it, let's see
that's
what it
the
sounds
intro,
like.
I think.
I like it.